It's been 3 years since the UFC was in Australia, 5 years since they visited Perth, but this weekend it's an epic return. Western Australia is a visually striking location, but over the years we've learned the Aussies love a good old fight. Rich sporting culture here down under. And the stage is all set for the official UFC 284 weigh-ins to begin. There's about 10 minutes before some of the finest fighters in the world step on the scale. Good morning to the weigh-in show. My name's John Good and I'm delighted to be joined by these fine gentlemen. Hall of Famer Michael Bisping, two first-timers on the weigh-in show as well. We've got the former two-time
Virgins,
champs.
you might say.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. I'm going to go with the official line.
Weigh-in virgins.
Right, weigh-in virgins.
That's how I like to refer to them.
Other virgin here then, popping his cherry, as we could then say, is the former champ Robert Whittaker.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
I'm a little off balance. Who's popping my cherry?
So Robert,
I'm going to go in deep.
On the way over here, Robert was saying, what's the tone going to be like on this show? Well, we've just established the tone.
Be gentle.
Yeah, Dom, welcome to the weigh-in show.
This is getting intense quick.
I'm
here. I'm glad to be here.
How are the beers tasting this morning?
You know, we're gonna figure that out as the show moves on. We'll be there for you guys. You'll see.
There is nothing better than 7 a.m. beers. There is nothing better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, every now and then you need to just make sure and pound a beer at this rate, because really we don't know what day it is and we don't know what time it is.
I gotta say, the way you pounded that beer, because I was given a beer and I know I have a reputation, but it's not granted, because look at that, I've had 2 sips. Dominic, like some of adolescent maniac, just downed it. I mean, check this out.
You know, every now and then.
The cameras were rolling, Dom.
Well,
they've done you dirty here.
I'm half English.
But he's got a big old throat on it.
Let's be honest.
I like that.
That's why me and Bisping get along.
What reputation?
Someone else is joining us. He's coming from out of the shadows.
Welcome. So if you guys are the virgins, what does that make Bisping?
I'm a slut.
That's okay. That's what I figured. All right, you guys are familiar with the wheel, more or less. Yeah. So you give it a little spin-a-rooney, and then you do what it says.
Come on.
You're a little more expensive than that,
and
Bisping.
it's
Come on.
Of course.
What is that?
The shocker.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of sluts, all right. So you guys know the drill. You do this. You hold this. Shit.
Oh.
Come on, no, Jay.
It's the anticipation. It's the anticipation.
You'll be all right. It's nothing. It's a kid's game. You're dealing with the hardest people.
It makes my molars like shake in my hand.
The hardest people on the planet.
Oh, nice.
It works.
That doesn't look fun at all. Why would we do that?
No, it's a blast. It's really, you're going to love it. It's a great time.
Before we go too much deeper, just a little note for you guys at home. We do have some fighters that will be ready to weigh in very, very quickly, including, so there's 11, I'm told, including, of course, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez. We haven't seen Islam Makhachev as yet, so we will come back to you with more on that. Let's set the table, though, for tomorrow's fights. 9 scrappuccinos make up the prelims on ESPN. Shane Young, Blake Builder will be a fun one early doors. Thailand's Loma Lookboonmee will bring her violent style against Elise Reed. Melbourne's own Jack Jenkins debuts against Boston's Don Shanis. And 4 local men make up our late prelims, which will whip up the Aussie crowd for sure. Onto the loaded main card. And I don't expect Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menafield to be anything other than an explosion of hellfire. Big boys Justin Taffer and Parker Porter will knuckle up. The UFC's rookie of 2022 and Perth native Jack Della, he meets his biggest challenge yet in Randy Brown. And it's a mouth-watering co-main event for interim featherweight gold with Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett. And of course, topping the card, for the first time in the UFC's history of male divisions, it's the #1 versus #2 pound-for-pound fighters as Volkanovski looks to defend his top spot whilst also capturing the lightweight title from Islam Makhachev. Time now to welcome in the man who will be leading the broadcast tomorrow. John Anik, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I mean, I like nothing more than waking up and watching the Mexican-American Dominic Cruz just slug a beer. I'm here for Robert Whittaker's brand of comedy every day of the goddamn week, so it's great to be with you guys.
Yeah, great to have you. Now let's get some serious stuff. Like, keep this straight for us, J.A. What's been your most interesting observation whilst having boots on the ground this week?
Well, I thought it was interesting in part to talk to Randy Brown, who I think had some trepidation to take this fight against Jack Della Maddalena. Randy Brown is the far more UFC-tested party in this equation. He's 10-4 in the UFC. He's won 4 consecutive fights, and perhaps if he wanted to bide his time a little bit and fight stateside against an opponent with a number next to his name, he could have done that. But he said to himself, you know what? These are the fights that build legacies. I'm going to go to Western Australia, into the belly of the beast, and try to beat this guy that people believe is a 4-1 favorite to beat me. So that was a big takeaway for me. I liked Randy Brown and his sort of mentality about the fight. And man, on the other side of that equation, this Jack Della Maddalena, to quote the late great Stuart Scott, cooler than the other side of the pillow. So I'm excited for that fight. And the Bendigo bomber, Jimmy Crute, sort of a subdued Jimmy Crute. I think he's kind of pushed the reset button on a few things, keeping a low profile this week. We're ready to go, Johnny G's. One more sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's fast forward to the main event. And you would have looked at this in a 360-degree level. Give us an idea of the magnitude of what this one is.
Well, sometimes it's hard to provide historical context when the UFC schedule is so breakneck. You know, sometimes people are wondering aloud about the promotion for this event. We just went back to Brazil for the first time in 4 years, 3 weeks ago, you know. But as far as this singular main event is concerned, I've been on the sticks for 12 years with the UFC. This is top 3 for me in terms of the most significant fights that I will have ever called. We have never had in the men's game, since the institution of the rankings, number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound going head to head. And candidly, with respect to my fellow Americans, I think it's only fitting that this fight happens here in a nation that just supports and appreciates this sport to such an extent.
Co-main event. Now, both Josh and Yair have been super respectful of one another and the environment that they're in this week, but it really doesn't echo just what a good fight this is. They're quiet types that they are. It's going to be a very different look as soon as they enter the octagon.
Yair Rodriguez is must-see television, and Josh Emmett will be the first to tell you that his highlight reel knockouts have led him to the precipice of a UFC world title. It's interesting when you look at the career trajectory for Yair Rodriguez. Injuries have been part of the narrative. Sometimes he's disappeared, and we haven't necessarily known why. When he made his UFC debut and won the Ultimate Fighter Latin America at UFC 180, I believe it was, he was 22 years of age. Now, he's always had sort of a wisdom that maybe belies his years, but now you just see a mature 30-year-old man that is ready to sort of go balls to the wall and attack this championship setting. So I think both guys are in a great place, and to your point, stylistically, an absolutely fascinating interim featherweight championship fight.
Great stuff, John. Thank you very much for your insights. As always, good luck with the weigh-ins over there. I'm now going to turn my attention to the man sitting on my left here, Dominic Cruz. That main event, number 1 versus number 2. We don't get this very often in combat sports, both men in their primes. How excited are you for this one?
Well, I mean, what I like about it is that we haven't seen a shorter guy go against such a tall guy that fights on the outside. I haven't seen that style, so that's what excites me about it. When you look at Volkanovski, the way that he feints, excuse me, the way that he switches stance occasionally, the way that he moves side to side, I haven't seen one person at featherweight head him off and be able to just move him back and put him against the fence and put Volkanovski where they want to. Makhachev has that style to do that, so we haven't seen that. And we also haven't seen anybody be able to dance on the outside around Makhachev, hit him, pick him apart, keep Makhachev from taking them down. We have not seen that, and if there's a style that can do that, it's a little spark plug size man like Volkanovski that has like these little tiny legs you can't grab a hold of. You can't grab a hold of his little T-Rex arms, and he can stand up, and it's like grabbing a hold of a ball. So I think that it's going to be tough for Makhachev to get him to the floor, but to keep him there, I think that's really where Makhachev gets ahead.
He definitely uses his explosiveness to that degree, and we saw that with the Max Holloway fight. Although, I've got to say, Islam has a very tight-knit boxing style of an uncanny way of stalking into your space, creating the pressure, you're back on the fence, and then forcing the takedown, forcing the scramble, creating the position that he wants, that is favourable to him.
Yep. Listen, it's pound for pound number 1 versus number 2. As you said, John, this doesn't really happen, even in boxing. Mayweather versus Pacquiao's probably the closest thing, and Pacquiao wasn't in his prime. But on top of that, to accentuate the excitement, it all comes down to one thing. Can Islam take him down? With the answer, I think, will probably be yes. And then the other question is, can Volkanovski get back to his feet? So that's going to be in the first round, you know what I mean? Because if Volkanovski gets up, we're going to fight on our hands, guys. If he can't get up, And then Islam does his thing.
Great stuff. Plenty more coming from these boys. Time now to get over to JA for the official weigh-ins for UFC 284. And I hear Alexander Volkanovski is first.
Official weigh-in for UFC 284, Makhachev versus Volkanovski. And we will begin with one of the men around whom this entire fight card was built. The undisputed UFC featherweight champion moving up to lightweight to challenge for the title, Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
What do you want me to say?
Well, here he is. That is a true professional stepping onto the scale right there, and that is why he's the pound-for-pound number one, Rob.
You know, he was sitting in that room waiting. As soon as the sun came out, he was ready, and he looks no different. A big thing, I think people don't give enough credit to his size. He still had to cut for this weight division, and he's moving up. He's a bigger guy. He's fought at the heavier weight divisions. He knows what it's like. He's got the muscle mass, and he's still lean enough to be as fast as he needs to be.
154.5 pounds, the official weight for Alexander Volkanovski.
And of course, the significance with that is that when you're first on the scale, you've got longer to rehydrate and, you know, taking those nutrients, recover from the hardship of the weight cut. That's why a true pro is on there, the first one to the scales.
All right.
Unless you're
Next fighter
heavyweight,
to the scale,
then you're
competing in the
last.
UFC's featherweight division.
First
Please
on
welcome
the scale,
Blake
last on the card. Like he's got like 30 plus hours to rehydrate and refuel.
Here comes Blake Builder.
Excuse me. I love the way that this man explodes, like with his double legs and his overhand rights. He just shows up to me as a super athletic person that's going to give a tough matchup because of the way that his athleticism is. You haven't seen a lot of him because his and strangle him in the contender. So it's going to be interesting to see how he shows up in this matchup.
In his first title fight here on Sunday morning, the #2 ranked UFC featherweight contender, Yair Rodriguez.
All right, for the gold.
Stepping onto here, Yair Rodriguez. I mean, come on, who doesn't love watching this guy fight? I mean, anytime you see him, he's jumping around, he's doing a little pirouette. Not right now because he's a little dehydrated, but he's always a professional, always exciting. Ever since he first came to the UFC, he had a very, very unique style, and he's kind of stayed true to that.
145, the official weight for Yair Rodriguez.
On the money.
Championship weight.
On the money for Rodriguez.
And Blake Builder, he's been on weight for a while now. When I went to bed last night,
scale, competing in the UFC's heavyweight division and live on pay-per-view.
I'm sure 8:30.
It's all nonsense.
I am so excited for this next fight. He took some time apart, but his last showing was an excellent display of striking. I think we're going to see a very short fight in this next one. He's got some heavy hands and some clinical striking.
Oh, look at the size of the thighs on him. I mean, he's absolutely gigantic. The power he possesses is ridiculous.
He cuts weight, right, to make heavy, doesn't he?
He does. He's a heavier guy, and you can see his lower end heavy. He's just got the power to do what he needs to do.
You know the guy's in the World Guinness Book of Records, right? He's the only heavyweight to miss weight.
Yeah, but he made it today.
He did it.
My name's Jack Jenkins. I'm fighting out of Melbourne, Australia, and you might be from Australia if you say Melbourne instead of Melbourne. If you call it a servo instead of a gas station, and if you call it a loo instead of a washroom.
There you go. Little linguistics there from Jack Jenkins. I was lucky enough to meet this guy in Vegas for his Dana White's Contender Series.
145.5, the official weight for
145.5.
Jack Jenkins.
He's got a really good story. Look, the guy's overcome some defeats early on in his career. He got the Eternal belts, this part of the world. Really nice MMA style. Broke 3 out of 5 legs for his last 5 opponents. That's unbelievable.
How do you do that?
Kicking.
Just kicks.
He actually explained it to us. It was really interesting. I learned a lot from it, to be honest.
Well,
Here's Elise Reed.
It wasn't just the kick, it was the way he timed it.
Sorry, Michael.
This is my moment. I've got Elise Reed stepping on the scale.
You go, son.
Started Taekwondo at 6 years old, causing upsets, defeating Corey McKenna in England. The coming out party for the hot prospect, but she beat him by a split decision. Silenced the crowd. Steps on the scale.
Right,
weight. I mean, come on, have a bit of respect, John Gooders.
Sorry, 115.5.
Talking about the last person. My God.
I'll do better.
The flair.
Michael, staying with you.
No,
Prado.
Jesus, the pressure. I mean, this guy, what is he? 20 years old, I think, something like that.
He's a kid.
He's the second youngest fighter on the UFC roster. I mean, this man's a killer. He really is. Intensity personified. He looks at Santiago Ponzinibbio as a role model and an idol, someone he really looks up to. So, yeah, and you can see when you talk to him, when we spoke to him yesterday, 20 years old, UFC debut.
For Francisco Prado.
But he is here to wreck shop, as they say.
Prado versus Malarkey is a sleeper fight of the night to me.
I'm telling you.
Good shout.
I think that's going to be an epic fight.
All right, back to the main card now, competing in the UFC's light heavyweight division.
I don't know if you know this, but this is my weighing show now because these are my
Take it away.
Do we get turns too?
Say what?
Do we get turns?
You don't, Rob. I told you, you virgins don't get to talk. Alonzo Menafield, I mean, come on. This guy.
He's scary.
Out power. I mean, this is going to be an amazing fight. Look at him, what an athlete.
206, the official weight for Alonzo Menafield.
Heavy hands, very strong. I mean, the size of the thighs on this guy.
That fight's not going the distance.
Nah, I doubt it.
Jimmy Crute, Alonzo Menafield.
Yeah.
What a fight that's going to be.
Jimmy's got some good wrestling, though. He's got to keep the fight on the feet. Sorry, Rob.
That is going to be a Menafield is coming in like as a dangerous opponent.
Here's Shane Young. I'm interested about this weigh-in. He did a lot of strength and conditioning. He's put on some muscle. So we're going to find out after, like, how excruciating the cut was, or if indeed it was a lot easier for him.
He had an amazing fight on the Contender. Granted, didn't go his way, but he certainly showed up and fought.
145 and a half for Shane Young.
145 and a half. He's got his face all over billboards back in New Zealand as well.
He's got staph all over his body, or he's been cupping.
I think that looks more like cupping.
No, I know.
I think we just need to set that straight.
Yeah.
I've just heard that within the next 10 minutes we're going to get the featherweight champ and pound for pound #1 to come and have a little chat with us. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
And that's why he's the man. But right now, we've got Melsit Bagdasarian stepping on. Trains out of Glendale with Ronda Rousey's old coach, Edmund Tarvarian. Very, very good kickboxer, this guy. Heavy pressure right from the opening bell. Always in his opponent's face. Fun fighter to watch. Obviously, a long way to fly for him. But that's the case for most people.
The official weight for Melsit
146.
Takes on an Aussie this weekend in Josh Kulibau.
That's going to be a good fight.
It is. Josh Kulibau's getting better and better. Spending all that time with Alexander Volkanovski, it's clearly rubbing off on him.
Just in terms of a matchup, though, Kulibau and this guy, it's going to be a fan favourite.
I'm really excited for this next fight. Elvis Brenner, he's he's a super dangerous submission artist. Trains with Charles Oliveira, and they're like one of his main sparring partners. Unbelievable jiu-jitsu. A lot of heart. Getting on the scale. It's one of those guys that's always looking to give up position to attack.
Right.
Always looking like he wants to kill someone. Look at the look on his face.
Yeah, he's not happy.
I think it's just the one brow thing that makes him...
The monobrow?
The monobrow.
Yeah, I don't think he's really angry. I think it's just missed the middle part. So
and the white hair sets that off, doesn't it?
Face
Does
contrast. He could have got the manscaped and just done the middle bit above the nose.
I mean, it's just my experience, not necessarily a fact.
Jimmy Crute.
Hey, I'm Jimmy Crute. I'm fighting out of Melbourne, Australia. Hey, Rob, you know me well. How do you see this fight playing out?
I was fortunate enough to do a little bit of training with Jimmy, and I can say I've trained with him in the years prior. This is the best I've ever seen him. He took a step back with his injury and took some time away from the game and really just changed things up with his mind space, his head space, his training camp. He's gone very zen this week. Told me he's just focusing on the fight, turning his phone off most of the time. He's locked and loaded. I can see him going in there and really rising to the occasion. He's got a hard fight ahead of him.
Oh,
he does.
100%.
He's got a big challenge. But I believe he can get it done.
204 and a half, the official weight for Jimmy Crute.
Well, with the body of work that he's put together, he's the prospect guy, right? He's not going to get small fights anymore at this stage of his career.
All right, now set to weigh in advance of his first UFC championship opportunity, the number 5 ranked featherweight contender, Josh Emmett.
It's been a long journey for Josh Emmett to get here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I tell you what, the body of work that he's put in, some of the excitement, some of the performances, of course, the knockouts, the heavy hands, the wrestling, and the aggression that this guy shows. You can't miss a Josh Emmett fight.
No.
I mean, that one against Shane Burgos, I called that, and I'm telling you, that was just all-out violence. Obviously, a lot of technical skills on display, beautiful boxing from both men, but that was just a sensational fight.
He is massive.
145 for Josh Emmett. And with that, your
145.
interim
This is one of the
featherweight
fights I'm
championship
most
fight
excited
is
for.
now official.
So that is official. The interim featherweight championship bouts. Both fighters made weight, excuse me, early in the morning. He's just a big old ball of muscle, isn't
He
he?
is. When I saw him at the open workouts, and he was looking lean and muscular and explosive. He did a proper workout for everybody. He obviously has the energy to spare still.
Malarkey, I got to get some work in with him at Central Coast MMA with Ross Pearson. He cross-trained with Volkanovski and stuff a little for this camp, and then obviously trains under Ross Pearson, who's a guy I train with, so he's got some good technique. I'm looking forward to, like I said, I'm looking forward to this fight because Malarkey is fighting Prado, who's undefeated, but he's new. Prado's new. He's coming into the UFC so fresh. Malarkey's got some experience, so it's like experience versus the newcomer, and I just want to see how Malarkey can use that range because he's a lot longer than he looks when you have him in front of you. Sounded worse than I meant for it to sound.
All right, next fighter to the stage, one
He's got
half
some
of the
beautiful
featured
boxing,
prelim.
Yes.
And
Live on
he
ESPN and the UFC's
utilises
light
his
heavyweight
reach
division,
to a T.
Tyson
Right.
Pedro.
That's what you should be doing.
Tyson Pedro on deck.
Tyson coming in, steamrolling off of back-to-back wins. Since his break, he had his 3-year hiatus.
206, the
He
official weight
has
for
just looked
Tyson
better
Pedro.
and better. You see him coming into form, getting used to the crowd, getting used to the fight itself, and he is just looking better and better.
He's a scary dude when he's on.
Those last 2 finishes that he had, I forget,
All right,
was
now
it
moving back to the
Harry
strawweight
Hunsucker?
division as we
I'm
say
not sure which one it
hello
was,
to
but they were on the
Loma
knees and it was like 4 uppercuts in a row. Oh, just beautiful.
He just has laser focus when he's in there.
So here's Loma Lookboonmee. She is improving all the time. I heard from Coach Hickman, really developing that MMA game. We saw that last time out. She was the favourite in her last fight, won by decision. A nightmarish elbow game, which she's translated from standing up vertical in Muay Thai, and she does it so very well on the ground as well.
You know what you should have said when she was walking out?
Said,
"Here comes the Lookboonmee."
I like it.
All right, next athlete to the stage, competing in the UFC's flyweight division and making his UFC debut here Sunday morning, Shannon Ross.
Hi, I'm Shannon Ross, fighting out of the Gold Coast, Australia. Big Michael Bisping. I think we should get a beer together, and I reckon a shoey will go down a treat.
Well, you don't have to ask me twice. I've got the beer in my hand. I am dying for an opportunity to do a shoey in the octagon on pay-per-view. Someone just got to, I will take off my Salvatore Ferragamos. They're very expensive shoes. But I will put some
Sacrifice.
I will sacrifice that.
Have you done a shoey before?
Never in my life.
You partial to a shoey?
No, I'm not. I like to drink my beer out of a nice cold glass, a sophisticated one. I don't like people to spit in it. I don't like to drink out of a shoe.
But you'll do it.
But I'll do it for a while.
Oh, look at you.
I'll
You're a man of the people, Michael.
One of the
Always
lads.
have been.
I'll
He's
do
one of
it.
the lads.
I'll do it. I'll make a total
All right, next
knobhead
fighter to
out
the
of
stage.
myself.
Good to see this man back in the big show. He is the other half of the featured prelim, live on ESPN at light heavyweight Modestas Bukauskas.
All right, here he is, the Cage Warriors champion. Obviously came to the UFC last time out, had his knee pretty much snapped in half from a sidekick from Khalil Roundtree. Went away, recovered, had a couple of good fights, became the Cage Warriors champion, got a beautiful knockout in round 4. And then steps up,
206
takes
for
this
Modestas Bukauskas.
on I think it's just over a week's notice. So a long way to fly on a week's notice, but big opportunity. Wants to get back in the best organization on the planet, and here he is.
All right, 8 fighters left to weigh in, including, of course, Islam Makhachev. We'll keep you posted on any news from back at the official weigh-ins. But now we turn our attention to the pound-for-pound best fighter on the planet, Alexander Volkanovski. 22 fight winning streak, 12 in the UFC. Alexander Volkanovski, welcome to the weigh-in show. You've got the hard bit done. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, the hard part was obviously training, preparation, long camp. The weight wasn't too bad. Got that off nice and easy. Light sweat last night, little sweat this morning. Come in nice and early, weighed in, already hydrated, happy.
Good. Good to hear it. Now, it's been, I think, 5 years since you fought in Australia, and you were in the middle of the card then. So I'm sure you've been dreaming about the moment that you were the man on the poster and you visualised all of this. You've been at the open workouts. I was there. It was absolutely epic. You had the presser yesterday. Has it lived up to expectations?
Oh, yeah, definitely has. It's been incredible. Probably past the expectations. The crowd, obviously, at the workouts, as you said. Not just that, even at the press conference yesterday, it was a blowout. You know, to see the support. Very happy with that, and now obviously today at the weigh-ins it's going to be even bigger, I think. So hopefully people don't miss out. One sec, we've got Islam walking on now.
Oh, sorry, Alexander. Yeah, we've got Islam who's about to weigh in. So we're going to keep you on the line.
Let me have a look at that.
And Volk, if you don't know, just so you know, they got the towel. He's stepping on. He's got to take the undies off. Will he make it?
Volk, what do you think? What's your prediction, Volk? Is he going to make it?
His arms.
He's got the hands in the air, which doesn't do jack shit.
155, the official weight for Islam Makhachev.
And we've got a fight. We have the main event.
284 championship main event is
relief?
now official.
Very good.
Relief, Alex?
Yeah, it was good, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, obviously, that's he looks healthy enough as well, so we can expect the full Islam out there, and we can put on a show.
You know, they have weight classes.
The crowd get the main event they wanted.
Volkanovski, they got weight classes in wrestling for a reason. This is a weight class up. How do you know what I mean? Why do we create weight classes in wrestling and then in fighting it doesn't matter?
Because you can punch him in the face and knock him out. That's probably why. Look, yeah, you're right. Obviously, it is a challenge. It is me stepping up. That's why I'm the underdog and all that type of stuff. But you've seen it being done before, and obviously there's people out there that can use their skill, work a game plan, prepare, and all that type of stuff, and have the right tools for the right job. And I've got all them things going into this one.
One of the things I love about your style is how you're the shorter fighter, and you always find a way to jab your way above everybody. And you're not supposed to be able to do that. So what is it about your style and facing this tall man that you're going to be able to do what you've done? Like, how do you look like the taller fighter when you're the shorter fighter as you fight?
I mean, you can't give too much away, I guess. But I mean, you could just watch my work. Obviously, that movement, that distance control, and obviously the way I create that distance, how I get in, and it's not just getting in. Obviously, it's confusing them, not letting them know when you're coming in, getting them off beat, off rhythm, in between steps, you name it, all that type of stuff. Keep them guessing, keep them puzzled, punch them in the face.
G'day, Volk. It's great to see you on weight, already rehydrating. Tell me, mate, does it add to the confidence knowing that you had a nice cruisy weight cut into the fight, and Islam had, by all means, a harder weight cut? You know, he came out, had to strip off everything down to his birthday suit. Does it add to any confidence moving forward towards the fight on Sunday?
Look, cut like that. Obviously, it's fact that it can get you chinny. It can work on your cardio and all that. He hasn't had to worry about that too much in his last few fights, but I'm planning on us going to war for, if we don't catch each other early, I'm planning on it being a war, and let's see who can last better, who can do better in them later rounds. I know I'll be fine. Obviously, I'll be fresh from the weight cut. We both train very hard. But that weight cut might play a factor in then later rounds.
Is that one of the trump cards you have up your sleeve in a way? Is that and you have full faith in your cardio moving towards those later rounds, and Islam being the heavier guy with the heavier cut, shooting those takedowns, you were going to be stuffing them. Is that one of the confidence cards that you're playing in the fourth or fifth rounds where fatigue really starts to set in?
Yeah, man, of course. Like, obviously, you know, I'm sure he's got a style and he can shoot for days. You know, that grappling style, he can do that forever. But when they're getting up and puzzling you on the feet, and then, you know, you're getting puzzled because you can't figure out why you can't hold him down, little things like that. Just obviously especially when it looks like he's maybe thinking this might be a bit easier than it's gonna be. That's gonna start to bring the stress levels up. You're going to start getting frustrated. You're going to start panicking a little bit. You're going to start making different decisions. And I'm going to make you pay for them decisions. That's going to obviously make things a lot harder. You know what I mean? Again, if things go rough for me early, or if I'm getting adversity, I've been there a million times. I put myself in there time and time again, and I know I'll deal with it. And I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it. I've got in my head that this is going to be a tough fight. I don't know how he's taking this fight, but if he thinks it's going to be easy, I guarantee you he'll be struggling.
So, of course, Volk, you say it's going to be a tough fight, and it's going to be a tough fight for both men. Islam has been able to take everybody down and hold everybody down. What makes you the person that will not happen to? What makes you the one to break the mold, get back to the feet, and implement your game plan?
I think I talked to you earlier this year. I don't want to give too much away. I like this narrative of him being invincible and everyone he touches can't get back up, but that's not true. You know, we've seen people get back up. He is very good at his craft, but again, I'll play with that narrative. He is the bigger guy. He is a very strong dude. He is the favourite. I am the underdog. I am moving up. So that just makes my victory even bigger. But man, I'll just leave it at that, because again, that's what people want to push. And that just makes my victory even bigger. So I'm happy to just leave it at that.
Without question, you get
Maybe David.
Goliath, whatever. Jason David, all rhymes,
That's
whatever.
it, brother.
You're burning in hell, no big deal.
You know what I meant. Listen, Volk, this is a massive fight.
Jason Statham and Goliath.
Massive fight in Australia, right? It's like a golden age of Australian fighters right now. Of course, there's people before you, but people like Rob Whittaker, tied to Avasa. There hasn't been an event here for years. You've just been locked down like crazy. How good does this feel to be at the top of the card in one of the most significantly important fights in the history of the sport? I mean, come on, how good does this feel? And a lot of young new talent on the card as well.
Yeah, man, it feels good. It feels that. Very good. Mate, as we were just saying before, the open workouts and the press conference, I didn't expect it to be a turnout like it was. The crowd were going nuts. Yeah, it was beyond what I expected. So very, very happy to be back here in Australia. And yeah, a fight of this magnitude. To be here, to not only defend that number one pound for pound, get that lightweight title as well. Again, it's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a massive victory, a massive moment, not only for myself, but for Australia and the sporting history here in Australia.
Alex, we're all here for this fight. Absolutely incredible stuff. Number one versus number two. You can go get some of that gold-wrapped food that you've been indulging in all week. Thanks for coming and stopping by.
Will do.
All the very best.
Thank you.
Festive skill
Appreciate
for
it.
tomorrow.
Jason and Goliath right there.
Jason, David's brother and Goliath. All right, who is the best? Number one versus number two. Since the inception of the rankings in the male division, at least, we have never had this before. This is absolutely massive. Rob, 155, Volkanovski. You know, do you like him in that division?
No, he hates him.
No, I mean, do you think that he goes up, he takes this belt, or do you think he can have a long career doing, playing between both with his style?
Yeah, and then that's always the biggest test, isn't it? I find it very hard. Champions that have gone up and fought for the title, it is a harder thing to do, because you have to put on the muscle mass to be competitive in that division. Because these guys, when you're fighting for a title of a higher weight division, that is the very pinnacle of that weight division. So you don't have a lot of inches to spare. So he's going in there, he's made the adjustments, he's put on the size, and we'll see how his body reacts to that, because he has all intentions to go back down.
Yeah. But to your point entirely, Rob, he said to me the other day, what he wants to do is, if he wins, and of course he's planning on winning, is to next time out pretty quickly defend the lightweight belt, because he doesn't want to go up, put all that weight on, the muscle mass, all the rest of it, and then have to go down to 45, and then next time he goes to 55 has to do that entire process again.
And does that mean he didn't put on?
He didn't put on a
much
load.
muscle as
No,
he
he
could?
said he didn't put on a lot.
Yeah.
You see?
But Dom, I might be way off here, but are there certain fighters that have certain styles which will allow them to do better in a weight class above? And is Volkanovski the man
I
for
think
it?
they do have certain styles that translate well, but I mean, I like to look at this in the terms of boxing. Like you look at Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Those guys took a fight in between the fight to prepare for one another, just to like get ready for the style and the weight. In MMA, we're talking about pound for pound 1 and 2. He didn't take any fight in between to put on size and to get adjusted to this wrestling style. He just showed up and he's ready to fight the number,
But I want to say something on that. You're absolutely right. But that's what makes this even sexier, because look at John Jones, no disrespect, greatest of all time, all that jazz. Took 2 years away to bulk up. You know what I mean? When someone steps up like this, like DC did, like Conor did, like Amanda Nunes, or I don't know if that one's applicable, but like they all did, that makes it so much better than going away and reinventing themselves.
That's my
over
point,
2
and I
years.
think that's why MMA is doing so well compared to boxing, because we can just get right to it and they put us right on the chopping block and see what you're made of.
How's it going to be for him stepping out to this Perth crowd? I know he's got a lot of experience, but he hasn't done it main event here in Australia, and this is a big event, big narratives as well.
I guess I think it plays into his favour, because he is one of the few dudes that I know that like doesn't get nervous, and that is crazy to think, because I almost regret coming out every time I'm behind that backdrop. I'm wondering why I'm doing this, but he doesn't get nervous. He thrives on the energy, and that just leads to his narrative of like the young Wollongong battler coming in, always the underdog, and just putting on a show and beating the tide.
And on top of that, he's got nothing to lose. That's so mentally free. When you've got something to lose, your reputation,
is
your
that
belt,
true? That
your title,
really? Do you think he's coming in with?
100%. He's got nothing to. All right, listen, it's another loss. So fighting pride. Of course, he wants to win. But if he does lose, he's still in the same position. He's still the featherweight champion of the world. And when the pressure is eradicated, then you are free. You go out there and you perform. It's the pressure that affects fighters, from performing like they do in the gym to how they do on the big stage. You eradicate that pressure, you're free as a bird.
He's not risking a belt. He's not risking a belt. And like, the position's a position, but he's not risking a belt. He's going in there as the challenger, as the underdog. Everybody expects him to lose. Yeah, you know what I mean? He's going there free, and that's almost more dangerous.
Yeah. Gents, thank you very much. We have a guest who's on his way, so before we do so, let's take a look at some facts and stats on Mr. Josh Emmett. So 11 knockdowns, that is the most in UFC featherweight history. When this guy hits you, he wobbles you if he doesn't put your lights out. And look at that, 1.65 knockdowns per minute. And he's hard to pin down as well. I'm not sure that that's something that we're going to be looking at a great deal for this fight, but we shall find out. Stranger things have happened. Good morning, Josh Emmett. I see you're enjoying a little fruit there, and you deserve it. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How you doing?
We're doing good over here. What are the excitement levels like now that you've got that battle out of the way and you can now fully focus on this big interim title?
Yeah, the tough parts out of the way. The weight cut is always one of the most challenging things for me, but now comes the fun part. Now comes everything that I've been training for and working towards. I get to put on a show tomorrow morning.
I was speaking with your team at the open workouts and talking about preparing for Yair. It's like, what do you pick? So has it been a very, very challenging, difficult training camp, or has the martial artist in you enjoyed the challenge of this puzzle?
Yeah, it's he's crafty, so I don't have someone to emulate him to the T. But I have a lot of people that can throw similar things that he does. We broke down a lot of film on Yair, and I have an idea of what he's going to try to do, depending on what stance he's in. And yeah, it's been a great camp. It's been a long camp. I feel amazing. It's the best camp I've ever had. I'm strongest, fastest, sharpest I've ever been, and I'm ready to fight.
And we can't wait to see it, Josh. Now, that is a hell of a beard that you have there. Now, I'm just looking up here online. According to science, it affects your ability to absorb a punch by 33%. Was that the plan coming down here? I'm going to grow a big-ass beard, as red as it may be, but it's going to help me take those head kicks?
Yeah, you never know. It's kind of funny because once I was growing it, like everyone was sending me those little stats and stuff like that. And I was like, is this real? And then like it is. Like they really did like tests on this. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm keeping it.
100%. 100. In all seriousness now, though, I mean, obviously, the style of Yair, it's a tough nut to crack. It's very unorthodox, very original. I mean, do you feel that you have got the antidote to do that? You know, the footwork, the cutting off the cage, the backing him up against the fence. You know, how excited are you to prove to the world that you have the fight IQ to deal with this?
Yeah, no, I do. And talking to, I remember Dom, was talking about fight IQ. He doesn't believe in it, right? Do you still believe in it, or?
Oh,
I just think that it is what it is. Like some people have it, some people don't. But how are we judging it? Is my point. How are we judging who's smart and who's not?
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, I have footwork. I'm fast. I have great footwork. I'm accurate. Like I can do it all. So it's I'm excited to get the best Yair because it's going to bring out the best in me, and I'll truly rise to the occasion. I fight at people's level, but I'm going to get right into the mix. Like first round, I'm getting right into I'm just going to get right into the fight is what I'm doing.
We saw you at the open workout. Obviously, you're very proud of your strength and conditioning. I saw you looked lean and as fit as I've ever seen you. Can we see you utilising your takedowns and explosive power in this fight? Is that part of the game plan, to get in there and to control him that way and make him uncomfortable, to put his back up against the fence and just really turn it into a scrapyard fight?
Yeah, if that's what I have to do, that's what I'm going to do. If it's going well in the feet, I'll keep it there. If I touch him with a hard shot, I can put him away. But if I do get his back against the cage, he's on his heels, and I start to implement some wrestling, and man, I have great submissions too. No one's seen it yet. You guys haven't seen me wrestle. You guys haven't seen me grapple on the ground, and that's my background. That's my base.
Well, you haven't needed to use it yet. You have such power in your hands. I saw you at the open workout, and you put on a really good show for everybody there, including myself. You looked more muscular than usual. Obviously, you're always very proud of your strength and power, but you looked extra muscly and lean this fight. Has that been a focus on this prep leading up, like your explosiveness and that strength?
Yeah, no, definitely. I put a lot of work into my strength and conditioning for this camp. It's one of the longest camps that I've had. It was like a 12-week camp, and the longest camp prior to that was, 6.5 weeks. And even my past handful of fights, I wasn't really able to train for those fights. So I actually got to train for this fight, and everyone's going to find out what I can do and what I'm going to do on fight day.
Emmett, you talk a lot about fight IQ, and you were just asking me about it. So what does it actually mean to you to have a high fight IQ comparative to the person you're fighting?
No, I just think I'm just living in the moment. I'm actually trying to make reads on when I'm feigning, or just how I move, like wherever he's at. I'm just trying to kind of set him up for, I don't know, for whatever it may be in the later rounds or whatnot. But I don't know, just kind of playing like, just kind of getting reads on my opponent. And knowing where I'm at all time, listening to my coaches, listening to his coaches, just trying to pick up on things that he's trying to set me up with.
So now, all right, perfect. Now with all that being said, like you've obviously looked at your two styles. You've looked at, all right, I've got my skeleton, he's got his skeleton, his set of habits, my set of habits. What is your favorite part about these two styles and how they match up together, like for yourself? What is your favorite part about that?
Yeah, it goes back into, he's just he's a tough puzzle to solve, and I think I'm going to be able to, crack that puzzle and solve it. And just if I just implement what I know I can do, I know I'm going to come out victorious. You know, I can win the fight anywhere, standing on the ground, TKO, submission, whatever it may be. I could do it all. I could win a split decision. You never know.
Josh, thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations on making weight. Enjoy the refueling process. We are all stoked for this fight. We can't wait to see it go down. All the very best to you, my friend.
Cool. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. All right. Well, speaking of Josh Emmett, why don't we take a closer look at that co-main event?
He is arguably the most powerful featherweight on planet Earth.
There you go. You hurt just about everybody that you touch with the right hand. You get this confidence about yourself, and Josh Emmett has that.
I'm going to go out there and throw every strike with bad intentions behind it, looking to finish the fight.
It is his mission to not just be a contender, to be a UFC champion.
Since before I was even in the UFC, that's all I've said. I want to be a world champion. It's in reach now.
Oh! Josh Emmett! That's all it takes from him. One and done! I mean, these power shots have felled elite featherweights throughout his career. So many people.
This is the biggest fight of my life, and I will not quit. I'll never cower away.
Oh!
I'm going to keep on pushing, and I'm willing to put my body through anything to get my hand raised.
In Mexico, we're proud warriors. It comes from our ancestors. You know, I think I have shown that since the beginning of my career.
Yair is a vicious guy. He's not going to be intimidated.
I like the fire, you know, I like the feeling of getting hit and take it, and now it's my turn. I'm going to hit you harder.
Oh! He's so dynamic, so explosive. He's got scalps on his mantle for the things that he's done.
Down goes Penn! El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez has done it!
He's not afraid to take risks, whether it's spinning attacks, whether it's a kick to the body, push kicks, the rolling thunder. He's just an all-action fighter.
Oh, round kick, he got him. It's
just like that.
Wow. He is wild and unpredictable. This kid is a phenomenal talent and so unique in that ability.
Yair, he's elusive, he's crafty, he's explosive. He's a tough puzzle to solve, but that's why I'm working so hard, because I will solve that puzzle.
I think Josh Emmett is a really smart guy. I think he is explosive, aggressive, strong, but I think I have better tools than him, so I'm just gonna use it against him.
That is it! These are two of the most electric fighters anytime they step into the octagon.
They're going out there to take each other's heads off.
I will not stop. He's just going to be in the fight of his life, and I will get my hand raised.
Whoa! Josh Emmett!
I visualize myself getting a knockout. It's in between the title and me, and I'm willing to give it all to become a champion.
So back to the official weigh-ins then, and Cledson Rodriguez is about to take to the scale. Looks like he's going to strip all the way down, Michael, the former Jungle Fight flyweight champion, looking to hit 125.
Oh, let me tell you, love watching this guy fight. I mean, he'll go from a flying knee to a wheel kick to a takedown. Very, very good skills, extremely explosive. If I'm not mistaken, he might have struggled last time out, but he is a hot prospect. Keep an eye on this guy. This isn't looking good.
He's got the
127 for Cledson Rodriguez. That is
so
1 pound
he
over the
misses
flyweight
weight
limit.
by a pound, and because of the Australian Commission here, they do not get another chance. So that is it for Cledson Rodriguez. He has officially missed weight. We'll keep you posted on the specifics of that.
Who missed it?
And due to the commission, do they have a specific percentage in which you are docked?
That is what I'm hoping we'll get more information on.
Clarification?
Yes, Michael.
Now,
do you see me
this is
padding
the word
here?
you were looking for.
Thank you very much.
We need clarification on that, guys.
Thanks for throwing me that. Thanks for throwing me that fast ball that I knew nothing about.
I hate missed weights so much. Missed weights are just.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse for it.
There's none.
There's no excuse.
You know what you have to do. You know what's ahead of you. You have plenty of time to prepare for it.
You show up on weight and in shape. Everything else is down to what fate, the gods, whatever you believe in.
All right, next fighter to the stage, competing in the UFC's heavyweight division and live on pay-per-view. Parker Porter.
I'll tell you what, heavyweight shouldn't miss weight, should they? And Parker Porter, Dom, is about to take to the scale.
Yeah, obviously, powerful guy, looking to land big overhand rights and left hooks all day. Not a ton of jabs. Big power shots is this man looking for. I mean, obviously, being as big as he is, that's what it's all about, landing that one shot on the chin. It's very basic. This guy's just looking to take you out. It's not super technical.
No. You can't we're not dealing with a Dominic Cruz here, for example.
264.
He'll stand there, he'll swing until someone falls down.
Yeah, you don't want to stand in front of him.
No, and you're that big. That's pretty much all you really need, probably.
I feel like that is the theme of the division. Sometimes it's like there's the top 10, and then there's kind of that mix of just big dudes who want to stand in front of you and just throw bombs.
If you can wrestle at heavyweight, you're winning.
You're in the top 5, like you're there. You're
you
there.
know how to do a single leg.
Yeah.
Title shot immediately. Heavyweights.
Shall we have a little conversation about that co-main event, gentlemen? I know that you last week on the broadcast were losing your mind
about what?
About it. The co-main event for interim featherweight gold, and we were just speaking with Josh Emmett there. Dom, I'll come to you specifically about the wrestling, because he said we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the grappling, the submission attack. Is this the fight where we really should be seeing it from him?
I mean, that's a good question. We just talked to Emmett about fight IQ, right? So if there's a guy you're going to ask if you should or shouldn't do, it'd probably be Emmett saying, well, if you look at Yair Rodriguez's past fights, the only time he's really lost decisively is he's gotten held down, head up against the fence, squished there, couldn't use a submission game to get up or get the submission, and that's how he's been beaten. So can Josh Emmett do this? Clearly. So that's fighter IQ.
He definitely has the wrestling background to be able to implement a game like that, especially with his fight style of just like stalking, offensive slipping, to get into zone to land those shots. He makes a case of not wrestling as much as he could have because he hasn't needed to.
Yep.
He's got cinder blocks for hands.
But do you? Can you fall in love with the hands too much?
Oh, well, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. But also, you know, we're talking about fight IQ here. You got to be smart enough to realise that I'm in an interim title fight. Yeah, I fall in love with my hands. I have power. I can knock anybody out and all this stuff. But you want to take the smart path to victory. Finding Yair Rodriguez to land those cinder blocks isn't an easy thing to do. So cutting off the cage, corralling him up against the fence, minimizing the amount of area or real estate that he has to escape, landing shots and then mixing in the takedown. That is going to be the key to victory. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, I think with fight IQ, it comes down to, okay, I'm facing Yair Rodriguez. He's a missing link. Like, you don't know what he's going to throw. There's not a read.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's going to do.
He doesn't know what he's doing. So if you're Emmett, do I really want to just be in all these risks, these big question marks? I mean, the answer would probably be fight IQ-wise, no. I'd rather keep him on his butt where I know exactly where he's going to move and how he's going to move, rather than this puzzle running around me throwing spinning heel kicks. Like,
he's got to reduce the amount of options he's got.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly that.
On the other side, Dom, I know that you're very involved with the fighters down in San Diego. How much would you enjoy working with a fighter like Yair Rodriguez and all of the skills that he has?
Well, I have gotten to. I mean, I've cross-trained with you. He's come to Alliance and cross-trained with us.
Oh, right, there you go.
He's just a freak athlete, I'll be honest. Like, he's so athletic, and I think that's what's gotten him ahead so fast and going wherever he wants. He runs his own camps. He brings a group with him, and he just transfers
do you
camp
like
to camp.
that? Do you like the fact that he manages the program?
I think it's not really about what I like. It's about what each athlete believes they need. And if you look at the history, he's right here at the top, number 2. Yeah. Because it works for him.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what I think.
And he's had many fights, many training camps, and he's got to this level in his career. He knows something about getting ready for a fight.
Yep.
And sometimes, sadly, I'm not saying his coaches or your coaches, but there's a lot of coaches that are just charlatans that don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it's like, listen, mate, I've been doing this 15 years. Shut up, pipe down, hold the pads, and get me a cup of tea when I need one. Other than that, let's go to the gym and knock someone out.
It's hard to coach Bisping, don't forget.
I mean, I'm the only one in the Hall of Fame. You're both going to be there. We know this.
I definitely do agree that the fighters do know a certain level of things that the coaches can't see, they can't feel, they can't intuitively get because they're not in there. They haven't been in the game, and sometimes coaches haven't been with you the whole length of time, so they don't understand you quite as well. But I've got to say, like, when you're your own boss, when you, the athlete, are making the calls and the shots for how the shows run, like, this is just me personally, I'm influenced a lot by how I feel. Because some days I wake up feeling like absolutely like a train ran over me and I don't want to train. But they're the days you have to train because...
But it also takes confidence to rest. And there's a fine line between resting and being confident that you can take it easy, thinking, because it's weakness, right? If you wake up every day and your body's feeling like crap and you're like, I've got to train, that's mental weakness. That's the pressure getting to you. So it takes confidence to say, do you know what? I'm ahead of the game. I'm going to take today off. I'm going to go get a massage, maybe have some active rest, go for a walk, ride a bike or whatever. Now, there's a fine line between having the confidence to rest and being lazy and not wanting to go to the gym. Of course, I was joking when I said about training yourself. There's tremendous coaches out there, but you've got to have that good feedback with one another.
And definitely, but you know what you just said a lot of the times then was like fine line. And I think as the athlete, as the guy who has to get in that octagon and fight, that is stressful to be thinking about every day, to be juggling those different values, like how do I feel? Is it real or am I just like wimping out today? Or am I going to hurt myself if I go and spar? Like making those judgment calls by yourself, like on your own back, sometimes seems stressful.
Staying with the featherweight division, because both of these guys are chasing Alexander Volkanovski. Check out this wonderful piece here that our man John Anik voiced.
So how to quantify true greatness in fighting? It can come in different forms, but most often it is a magical parlay of who a champion is at the root of their being, combined with the awe-inspiring skills and heart they've employed to reach historically great heights. In the case of Alexander the Great Volkanovski, nothing was automatic. He wasn't on your proverbial radar, he wasn't a blue-chip prospect. Perhaps the most interesting thing about him when he quietly debuted in the UFC 6.5 years ago was that he'd been a professional rugby league player for the Warilla Gorillas in his native Australia, and he was now betting on himself again by transitioning to mixed martial arts.
I love a challenge. I'm going to raise up to the occasion and show people what I'm capable of.
The first act of Volk's octagon greatness, the old proverb says, leap and the net will appear. He turned those words into action by winning his first UFC fight, then his second and his third. At first he fought in Australia and New Zealand, but by the time he made his first trek to America to fight Darren Elkins, people were talking about his yogi-like transformation from 214 pounds as a rugby league player to 145 pounds as a UFC featherweight. Yet that became a footnote. He just kept winning, taking care of the business in front of him, obligingly blasting through the contenders, and then toward the legends, who'd assuredly humble him should he make it that far. At UFC 232, when he took out Chad Mendes, it was clear, crystal.
Oh, Mendes goes down! Alexander the Great has arrived!
Volkanovski was coming, and when next he was asked to take on featherweight royalty Jose Aldo in Rio, he didn't hesitate. Unsung, unheralded, underappreciated, and undefeated, he rolled into Brazil with an unwavering confidence and broke through. Since, he has come to define greatness in modern-day mixed martial arts. From undeniable in that conversation of divisional all-timers to leading that very chatter. The champion of champions who snuck into the title picture in plain view, now distancing himself from the most iconic names going. In between, we've learned a lot. Most notably for Volkanovski, there are no shortcuts. Training hard every day pays off. Self-belief, although sometimes understated, will show up in the moment of truth. Heart can't be measured by a physical frame, and adversity builds legacies. So what is greatness? Not losing a round in all of 2022? Grace and humility to handle any situation. Championship hunger that never dies, that had him cutting weight as a backup on the other side of the planet just for the 1% chance to make history. Perhaps greatness is rooted in daring to be even greater. In this case, against all odds, up a weight class in the lightweight division against the otherworldly Islam Makhachev.
Oh, this is tight. Oh,
there's the tap!
And while that provides a chance to stamp his legacy as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, for Alexander the Great, his greatness will always be undisputed.
We're back to the official weigh-ins, and Don Shainis is currently weighing in, Dom.
Oh, yeah. Well, looks like he's had a tough time, so he's doing the birthday suit wrap. Let's see how he does. And
146, the official weight for Don Shainis.
And you know, he's coming back to really prove himself. He said himself, I didn't show up as well as I wanted to. He took a tough fight against Sadiq on short notice, and now he gets this turnaround fight to really show what he's made of. I think this is like a mirror match. Two guys that fight very similar, just come with pure power and want to just knock you out. It's not super, I'm going to have this game plan and take you down and mix it up. It's just like, I'm going to be stronger than you. I'm going to go through you. And I think it's two people doing the same thing. So what happens when you create two explosions?
Fireworks.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen with this one, because they're not looking for technique. They're looking to smash each other's face in. That's it.
My favorite type of fight.
Yeah, it makes it easy for us.
As long as I'm not in it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great scrap. All right, we are now going to be discussing double champs in UFC history. See the list there: Randy, BJ Penn, McGregor, GSP, DC, Amanda Nunes, Henry Cejudo as well. Some there that have held the belts concurrently. We are going to go round table fashion and find out who, gentlemen, your greatest champs are of all time. Dominic Cruz, coming to you first. I want your number one. Your guy or gal.
I mean, I got to go because he's defended the title and done it more than once. It's Daniel Cormier. He's won with single legs in the heavyweight division. As Bisping said, you got a single leg.
Wins you straight away.
He's got one of the best single legs in the world. So I think he could honestly come back with his single leg and probably be in the top 3 right now with a broken back. That's how good at wrestling he is.
I need to start single legging more of my fights to win over Cruz, huh?
Over to you.
It has to be Conor McGregor, because now this is primarily because of the it has to be. Listen. It has to be because of the fashion he did it. And the division is a very competitive division. The featherweight and the lightweight.
Some of these guys have defended those belts.
I understand that.
You give no argument for defending versus not?
Come
on, man.
It's just the
defending the title is what matters, not getting it. That's the easy part, getting it.
He walked into your house and took your stuff.
You got to keep it. Yeah, but then I came back and took it back. You didn't even keep it.
Like, how do you know? He did it the first time.
But I mean,
and he laughed the whole way to the bank.
You won a title. How hard is it to keep it compared to winning it? Be honest.
Not that hard. Okay. Yeah, no, it is certainly hard, because obviously the pressure surmounts once you've got it. And
well, how about they adjust to your style? How about they adjust to your style? The whole division in there.
Everybody's headhunting you.
Guys,
you know, but
two opinions.
I still believe. I still believe just the fashion in which he did it.
Yeah.
He walked into your house.
He's a trailblazer.
Took your stuff.
Yeah.
And again, the guys he took them from, Jose Aldo.
Yep.
And Eddie Alvarez.
What a combination to take the title.
They weren't hard fights. They weren't hard fights for him. Oh, they were hard fights, but
he smoked
the fashion in which he did
punch against Jose. That's not a hard fight.
Craziest
unbelievable.
One.
Unbelievable. The fight with Alvarez, going up, like putting the work on him like that. When Alvarez was the man, like he loved guys who fought like that, because he went in, he scrap fought you, and made you hate being in there with him.
So does that make Floyd Mayweather like the double champ then, since he beat Conor after that, took the belt?
I mean, he boxed, and we're not talking about boxing.
Right? They had the bitch mittens. Yeah,
welcome him, RJ. What you got for us?
Thanks for having me. It's got to be George St. Pierre, obviously. He was arguably the greatest fighter of all time before he did the unbelievable, before he did the impossible, dare I say. Before he did the most amazing thing you could possibly do in mixed martial arts. And that's hand and L, the left hook Larry, after a 4-year layoff, after being one of the most dominant champions ever.
Yeah, I had one eye and I had broken ribs in that fight, believe it or not. But RJ, I hate to be pedantic on you all. George St. Pierre should not be in this competition. Neither should Randy Couture. Neither should BJ Penn. Because they are not champs. They were champions of 2 weight divisions. They were not consecutive champions. There was only 4 consecutive champions that held 2 weight classes at the same time.
They weren't champ hyphen champ. They were champ.
Double champs. Double champs. There's 4. There's 4. You know, you can read. But my answer, and it is yet to defend it, but I think if he pulls it off, Alexander Volkanovski, if he can beat Islam with what he's done at 145, I have Daniel Cormier right now, but if Volk can do it, he might challenge DC.
So you were going DC as well?
DC. Single legs.
You said Randy Couture can't be in the conversation.
Because if he wasn't a champ of 2 weight divisions consecutively. Or
Okay.
simultaneously, that's the word I'm looking for.
When I started thinking about this, it took me back to the time when I really started getting invested in mixed martial arts, and what Randy achieved was just unbelievable. And he kept going back and beating guys, and he did defend. And these guys that were holding the belt, and they were Vitor Belfort and your Randlemans and your Chucks.
Yeah.
He was like the perennial underdog, and a guy just kept on winning. He was like 105. Randy Couture.
It was a time there were like real savages out there.
Wasn't a champ. He was a champion of 2 weight divisions, but he wasn't a champ. You guys need to read the question.
No. It said we were allowed.
It was in there.
We were allowed.
That was my interpretation of the question.
We're going to go now with a super fight that should have happened. Okay, so we got the number 1 versus number 2, champion versus champion. It's what we got coming up tomorrow. So what super fights haven't happened but should have? Apparently I'm going first, so I like this. So let me just relax into my thing here.
Who have you got, John?
I'm going with Fedor versus Brock, because at the time I think they were looking at a nailed-on stadium for that fight. Fedor had this mystique, again, a guy from Europe, and my circle of friends couldn't talk enough about Fedor. And then Brock, the wrestling guy, the amount of eyeballs that he brought, I think it would have cut through every mainstream media globally. I think it would have been massive. Now that I'm done, Roberts.
So my fight that should have happened, and this is during their heyday when these 2 guys were invincible, untouchable. Nobody bet against them. Everybody expected them to win, and they won for a long time in both divisions. GSP, Anderson Silva.
That's a great show.
That was a fight everyone in the world would have turned to, because both dudes at that time were 10 defenses in, like untouchable. Both guys. Nobody bet against them, and yeah, that was a fight we missed out on. And there were rumours and the speculation, but it was. It's what should have been.
100%. That's what I have here as well. GSP versus Anderson. Of course, Anderson had the most records. The records for the most defenses. George St. Pierre wasn't far behind him. I think the thing that really stopped that fight happening, though, was the fact that Anderson went up to 205 and was so dominant there as well. Obviously, that performance against Forrest Griffin. I forget who the other one was.
James Irvin.
James Irvin.
If you can beat James Irvin, I mean.
No, but still, it just seemed that emphasised the difference in weight.
Yeah.
The fact that George was 170 and he was going up to 205. I think that was part of the reason
did it with a jab.
why that never happened. Yeah, you know. But you're right, Rob. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the one that got away.
Anderson Silva was the bigger guy, and you're exactly right on your point there that the weight difference would have been too much, because Anderson had hard cuts.
Well, and George did come up to 185 and do pretty flipping good.
Phenomenally well, dare I say. Yeah. So I'm with you. I mean, that's the no-brainer, right? I mean, they're unbelievable win streaks. It was number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound. They're both giant pay-per-view draws at the time. Like, it was unbelievable. And stylistically, right? Like, people were like, oh, could George St. Pierre double leg knee tap Anderson Silva? Would Anderson Silva be able to handle the ground game? Would he be able to keep distance? I mean, just like the pay-per-view buys, 1 versus 2. They're both in their primes, stylistically. I do want to honorable mention, though, Dominic Cruz, Frankie Edgar would have been. That's a stylistic match.
There's only 2 people in the history of planet Earth, though, that have fought both Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Yeah. He's the slut of the show, I've been told.
Rob, weren't you scheduled to?
I was at that fight, eyeballing both guys, like just lurking, waiting to see what would happen and who I got to crack.
And also, look at this now. Isn't this nice? You two sitting so close to one another, getting on
Who's
so
got a
very
better
well.
left hook out of the 2 of you, actually? I really like your left hook.
100%.
So whose is better?
It's gotten better, let me say.
No, really? How?
I've been working on shortening it up a little bit.
Shortening. So my fight, I mean, I got 2. I'm going to go with 1 because the heavyweight division needs it. I wish it was John Jones and Ngannou. I got to say that. I wish that was happening. That should be happening. But it's not. So the one that I have is Cain Velasquez versus Fedor. That's, I think that should have happened. Resting bitch face versus resting bitch face. Who's wins? Who's meaner?
Cain Velasquez or C-level Cain?
The winning. I mean, we're talking about the best versions of each other, right? Like both guys facing when they're in their primes. I think
Sweater,
that fight had to
Fedor,
happen.
C-level Cain.
Yep. There we go.
John, what other champ versus champ matchups would you like to see?
Champ versus champ. Khamzat, I'd like to see him at 170 or 185 and just face either. If he doesn't, when he wins the title, I want to see him move up and down and see who he can face. I mean, I just think he's a tough to have.
I mean, these two have kind of been going back and forth already, but they're newcomers to being champs. But Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, just stylistically.
Yeah. And the storyline now.
The storyline, but when you look at Jamal, you know, he's incredible. And Pereira, come on, we know as well.
That is such a good matchup for Pereira. So for
sure.
Like in a fight moving up,
Yep.
like that is picture perfect. You couldn't orchestrate it better.
Right. Yeah. I had that as well, actually. But then I thought, well, because I'm sure that someone else is going to pick that, and this isn't how I want the fights to go tomorrow, but could you imagine if Makhachev wins and then Leon wins, and then Makhachev gets to face Leon and then takes out the whole pound for pound?
Well, Makhachev said that. He said that's what he wants. He said 170 is in his future. And look at that. He walked down onto the scale. And listen, he made weight, but I'm sure it wasn't easy. He had to go down to the old crown jewels and get those out. So, yeah, 170, mate.
You see, you're really close to my answer, which was I want to see Islam move up and fight Usman. You see, because much like when Usman fought Colby, two guys that kind of negate each other's wrestling, it becomes a kickboxing fight, a scrap fest. And I want to see if that Dagestani style of wrestling can be implemented on someone like Usman, someone who can go for days and wrestle and counter wrestle like that.
Are you hinting on who you might think emerges victorious in that fight between Edwards and Usman?
Well, let's just look at the facts. Usman was winning that fight until he wasn't, you know, and that's the fight game. What can you take from that? Who knows? Let's see what happens.
You can't take anything from it. It's so hard. It's like, why is it like that? Because you got one punch at any time. And that's why weight classes, like we were saying with wrestling, don't matter as much, because that one punch can slip into that one kick. You just never
zig
know.
when you should have zagged, and it's done.
So you guys are being selfish about like what you want to see. I like to use my weigh-in show powers for good. So I want to see Aljamain Sterling go up and fight Volkanovski, because Volk went up once, let him fight the smaller guy one time. Sterling just can't get any love from anybody for whatever reason. Like, no one thinks he's legit. Everyone hates on him. It's like, all right, you go up and fight a guy up at 145 and win. Of course, they got to respect you. And Murad Dvalishvili's been waiting around at 135 for a title shot. Won't fight Aljamain Sterling. He can move into 135. Aljo can move up to 145. I just fixed it. I just fixed all those.
I'm pretty sure Chito Vera and Sugar Sean O'Malley will have something, and Sandhagen will have something to say about that little plan.
Who do you think wins, Murad or those two guys?
I mean, I'm a commentator, bro. You know,
commentate on who you think wins.
Well, commentate my ass.
He's trying to set you up.
Like usual.
when I hear it.
Well, you guys are figuring all of this out. Let's go back to the official weigh-in, shall we? And Rob, we got Josh Kulabau here. What do you got on Josh?
Since his debut, you can see his rise in getting comfortable in the octagon, the way he fights, the stylistic approach to his striking. He had some tough fights when he first entered the scene, and after the draw, now he's on back-to-back wins. His last showing was really clinical. It's
Does he train with you?
I'm excited to see this. No, he trains around the corner though. He's a little bit lighter for me to train with.
No, I don't mean like around your team is what I meant.
Yeah, no, he's a little bit
the
light.
official weight for Josh Kulabau.
Look at how happy he was.
He smiles all the time.
The energy is just great from him, and you've seen that like as he's been winning and as he's been getting better and getting more comfortable in the scene, in the media, he's just enjoying it. He's enjoying the ride.
We shared a flight with each other together, should I say, from Sydney to here. And again, he was smiling the whole time. By himself, no team with him whatsoever. And he said, it doesn't matter. He said, it's only me and my opponent in the octagon. They were already here, of course. I'm not saying they abandoned him or anything like that. But
did you talk to each other through your private cubicles? Because listen,
I was up front. I had my own executive wing of the plane. You know, I allowed him to make eye contact with me on a couple of occasions, but not to take the
too
piss.
much.
Which
you know
eye?
what I mean?
Yeah. Oh wow!
Wow! The eye that works.
Wow! Oh my! Well, we're gonna make a hard left turn into a comment that Michael Chiesa made on Roundup recently. He believes if Alexander Volkanovski, sorry, Jesus, If he wins, here we go. Here we go. I know, yeah, my blood.
That's high, Dominic.
Whoa.
That's high. That's the eye to make contact
See,
with,
there's nothing to
okay?
hide. If you just, that's like Eminem. He's like, look, it's all here.
It's all out on the table.
Go ahead, try to burn
I'm
for me.
not
I already
sensitive about it
said.
anymore. Funnily enough, a few years ago when I'm still competing, I was like, don't shut up. Stop mentioning
One time
me.
he
That's why I was touching
he
subject.
picked me up by my shirt. He's like, if you say that again, you little cunt, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, because I'm trying to earn a living for my family. You know what I mean? It's the biggest, worst
why I
kept
love
secret
him.
on planet bloody Earth. I'm like, shut the.
Did a good job.
Anyway,
Did a great job.
Incredible job.
Yes.
Did a great job.
Sorry, right. So the conversation was Chiesa saying Volkanovski becomes the pound for pound GOAT with a win over Islam Makhachev. I'm going to come to you first on that one, Dom.
Say that again.
So he becomes the greatest of all time if he wins this weekend.
I mean, how can you can't really argue it with beating
Really?
a guy like right now. We're talking about current. How many times have we said this is the best fight I've ever seen in my life? I mean, we're going to say it every single fight card.
Okay,
It's just
so
gonna
better
keep
than
happening.
Silva, better than GSP, better than
We're
John
talking about
Jones.
Volkanovski beating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty unheard of. He enters the GOAT chat. If he's the greatest of all time, he has to keep defending, though. How many title defenses do these people, John Jones have?
Yeah.
Anders, 16.
Double digits.
We're talking about
looking,
16
Yeah.
title defenses. So that, yes, he enters the conversation,
Right.
but there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I hate to sound like a broken record, and I'm certainly not being a hater on John because I'm a huge fan. Of course, the big asterisk with Jones is always the picograms that showed up. You know what I'm saying? And some people say that excludes. I don't. I still say the body of work of John Jones has him as the greatest of all time. But with Volk, a win here this weekend, he enters that conversation without question.
And let's not forget, you didn't make that up. Like USADA made that. USADA said that, not you. You didn't
What,
put
the
that on John.
picograms?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I can't even spell picogram.
Yeah. So it's not like
Is it not pictogram? I don't even know.
USADA said that happened. No one else.
But I got to say, like, he definitely enters the GOAT.
Yes,
talk.
I agree with that.
I think because he is definitely one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
But I guess this comes down to my interpretation of what GOAT, of what the pound for pound GOAT means, and my interpretation of it is that if you would put one guy against anybody else on the planet, they would win, and there is only one man that fits that model, and it's John Jones. It has to be.
Well, in their prime, yeah, and we're about to see. That's why I think this fight's so
a lot hinged on
anticipated.
this
It's like,
one.
is he still there? Is he still that
the unknown
good?
factor of the transition is up in the air. But
It's crazy because we're sitting here, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rudely interrupt, but no one's mentioned Habib, who is the consensus GOAT. Well, him and Jones, but of course we've got Anderson, there's George St. Pierre, but no one's mentioned Habib
Well,
yet.
I think if we look
Demetrius
at
Johnson, of
if
course.
we look at Nurmagomedov, it's more like because we knew how great he was going to be, but he kind of stopped before he didn't.
Yeah.
He could have kept going and he didn't. So did he stop too early, or was he the greatest that ever did this sport? Which is it?
I feel like there's like a weird sort of phenomenon around Khabib, which Islam's kind of inherited, and there was much to the talk to this fight as well. It's that you could never kind of know how good he is because there's always that next guy. You're like, this guy will test him, and then he goes in there and ragdolls him, and then it's the next one's like, no, but this guy will really give him a run for his money, getting up, and then he goes in there and ragdolls him as well, and that kept happening until he retired. And I feel like Islam is much in the same boat, like. You know, nobody everyone's just saying that next guy will test.
Are you undefeated, or did you stop too early before you got defeated?
Yeah.
That's the real
that's
question.
Exactly it. Because,
that's it.
Because I mentioned that I did a little video on that once, and the people that came after me, you know, because he has a very, very loyal fan base. He represents such a huge community, and he is revered wherever he goes. He's always handled himself with class. He was a hell of a fighter, defended the belt against some greats. But the resume, I'm sorry, on paper, in no way, shape, or form, in terms of title defenses, stacks up against the likes of Anderson Silva, John Jones, or even George St. Pierre.
You mentioned something earlier, actually, and I feel this way as well. And much on what you just answered as well. You're good until you're not.
Yeah.
Like,
You keep challenging yourself.
Yeah, you're undefeated until you're not.
And then the question is, are you undefeated and then you want to stay that way, so you stop and you don't take the risks anymore, or do you just keep risking until that time and you get that challenge, and then you grow from the challenge of losing?
Because
it's your choice if you do that.
Every time you step in there and against the number one contender, you are putting your balls on a platter.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what have you got? Are you still good enough? Are you still the man?
If you
Are
think
still
about
the
it,
number one guy?
any of us could could go until we lose, or any of us could stop before we lose. Any of us can make that choice.
It's one of the most terrifying things, isn't it? It's like whenever I took when I took that first loss to Adesanya, I was like, is this my slide?
Yeah, you never know.
Then I come back and I started winning and winning and winning, and then I took the second loss to Adesanya. I was like, well, now is this a slide? It's that thing. You win and you win and win until you don't. It's weird. It's something we have to sleep with.
Yep. Let's go back to the weigh-in, since that's what we're also here to do. And Jack Della is about to hit the scale, the local man.
You know what I love about this guy? The way he gets inside the punching range, the punching distance. And it takes a lot of confidence and practice to actually
171, the official weight for Jack Della Maddalena.
Offensively slip into the shots. He offensively slips into the shots, forces you to throw the jab, to throw the cross, which he's slipping preemptively to land his 1-2s, to land his body shots to hooks. And it is such a clean, crisp boxing.
It's beautiful
movement. I love to watch it. I love to watch it. I've been working it myself lately.
Well, there's something special about anybody who can get in the pocket and hit the body like him.
Well, because it takes a certain amount of confidence. We are wearing tiny-ass gloves, so it takes a certain amount of confidence to get in there and force your opponent to jab when you want him to jab.
Yeah, for people that don't know, you've got a negative defense and a positive defense. The positive defense, you're slipping in, you're going in forward, you're staying in the fighting range. The negative defense, obviously, you're backing out of the way. You avoid the strike, but you can't do anything offensively. Dominic.
Speaking of range, huh?
Yeah,
Randy Brown.
Range. That's exactly right. Let's hear what he weighs real quick, because this is obviously a tough one for him.
He's a tall guy. He's 6'4"?
He's the tallest.
6'3".
Tallest welterweight at 6'3".
You know, let's wait.
171, the official weight for Randy Brown.
You know, there's a pattern emerging here, is that the guys that are traveling, the foreigners, if you will, they're the ones that are stepping on there with their hands in the air, because when you come here, you're not used to the foods. You know, obviously they've got to go through the time change, and their pattern and the eating habits are completely disrupted, your sleep patterns, all the rest of it. So you come here, that's an extra challenge, but it's also part of the fun. You know, some fighters don't like that. I'm very proud when I look back on my career. I fought all over the world. There was nothing more exciting than formulating a plan, doing the training camp, and then jumping on a plane with your team to the other side of the world.
It's an adventure. And a lot of these guys that are coming overseas are coming here and they're like, wow, is this what good food tastes like? It blows them away. They don't understand.
No preservatives out here.
You know, they're just losing weight. It's like, I shouldn't be this light.
It's finding the no carb options. I remember walking to restaurant going, geez, and then asking for no salt in a restaurant. Can you put no salt on? They look at you like you're a maniac.
Bisping does no carbs to drink 65 beers.
There you go.
You're the one downing them first thing in the morning.
That's a Mexican protein shake. What are you drinking?
Water.
Okay. It's a very nice coloured water. But you mentioned foreigners. I think we're going to be at a disadvantage here, because we're going to do some Australian trivia. Someone should be a front runner. However, when we had a little conversation, I'm not so sure about that. I'm really looking forward to it. Gentlemen, our whiteboards at the ready. We need you to write your answers down. I've got 10 questions.
Can I say, forgive me, Australia. I was the worst person.
No pressure.
I was the worst person to put up to this. So,
well, we're glad to have you, because you're going to get
board, by the way.
Just the board.
Okay. You gotta be careful with how you word things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Question number 1. This is a true or false. Australia is one of the 7 continents. True or false? Write it down, please. Do not turn it over. We're going to do a reveal. 3, 2, 1.
No. Rob, you're wrong.
I put through.
Shit.
No,
Rob is correct. That
it's
is
Australasia. Australasia is a continent.
Shut up, you're
it's
lost.
Australasia.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what?
You're wrong.
Were we talking about
Pangea?
got something here.
It's Australasia. Right? It is not Australia.
Hey, don't pick at the threads. Don't pick at the threads.
They were all
I'm putting in a formal complaint.
Yeah, I think you should as well.
I know for a fact.
We're talking about
Australasia.
All right,
but whatever.
we're going to move along. We're going to leave that with the moderators. Question number 2, true or false? Australia is the smallest. Australia Australasia
Yeah, thank you, John.
is the smallest continent. True or false?
Well, that's a tricky one because they're all pretty big.
Is the smallest, you said.
True or false? Is it the smallest?
I saw Bisbee looking over at my answer.
Shut
just
up.
then.
You're on my blind side.
You were.
3, 2, 1, flip them. False, false, false. You are all wrong.
Oh, really?
It is the smallest, yeah.
Is it
Certainly,
really?
you know,
So
when you
humble.
consider some of the
I really
others.
thought
Took me
you were
5
big
hours
as
to
an
get
island.
It seems so big.
Yeah, but on
Took me
balance.
5 hours to get here. What do you mean smallest?
North America takes you a longer
Africa's
time
gotta
than
be
that.
I guess it
bigger.
takes the same amount of time to go from New York to California.
Okay. Question number 3. What
I'm still
is the
struggling with
biggest
what a continent
city
is.
in Australia in terms of population? So what is the most populated city in Australia? Do-do, do-do, do-do-do-do, do. We all ready? Keep it flippin'. Okay, Sydney, Melbourne. Sydney is the correct answer. Question number 4. What is a baby kangaroo called? What is a baby kangaroo called? So cute. Little marsupial? Are they called marsupial?
They are.
Marsupial, brother.
There we go. Do we have our answers?
Got it.
All right. I've just seen what Dom's written. Flip them.
Favorite.
They are a Joey.
I can't escape them. I mean.
Any opportunity, right? What is the capital city?
Am I one behind Rob here?
What is the
I feel like
capital city of Australia, mate? What is
so
the
bad.
capital city of Australia? Question number 5. It's not the obvious one. It's not the obvious one.
You're giving out clues.
It's not the obvious
It should
one.
be Sydney.
Should be Sydney.
You made me check.
Sydney
You're a little cheaty, Dominic.
is incorrect. It is Canberra.
You made me second guess.
Yeah, it should be Sydney. Let's be honest.
Next question, number 6. Which of these actors is not Australian? Kate Blanchett, Kate Winslet, Hugh Jackman, or Chris Hemsworth?
Can you say that
Same
again?
again?
I can, of course. Kate Blanchett, Kate Winslet, Hugh Jackman, or Chris Hemsworth.
Oh man.
I think I knew this one actually.
That's a good guess.
Flip 'em, let's see what you got.
Hold on, mate. I'm just slow.
Blanchett.
It is Winslet.
I suck
No,
at
I
trivia.
had a one in
Listen,
two.
listen.
One in two
Me and
chance.
Rob are
Trivia guy
neck and
I've
neck
ever
with this
met.
whole Australasia issue. I'm telling you.
It's Pangea.
The
Right,
Australasia.
let's have a look at the
Supercontinent.
scores, shall we?
You keep cheating.
0 for Dom, sorry.
It's like
4
actually
for Michael.
impossible for me to cheat there.
And in the lead right now is 5 for Robert.
Are we keeping track?
It's Australasia.
We are keeping track.
It's Australasia.
We are up to question 7. Apparently they've done some
The
research back
Wikipedia
there.
that they're looking at is
Yeah, I'm
wrong.
with you on this one, Michael. Right, anyway, question province. Province. Right.
Why are you saying it like that for? You confusing me.
Flip them, guys, flip them. True, it is true, it is true. It is
For consistency here.
Never going to let it go.
Are you drunk?
You know,
You may as well
Take
be.
that down. We have a here 6. 100% of the Australian population lives on the coast. Over 8%. So over is more virgins, as they say.
Are we doing? See, I thought it was true false. That shows you where I'm at. I already quit.
Yeah, the Australasia issue.
Because Michael's been here too much.
Well, it's because I'm just really worldly.
I got beer.
It was
all
over
over.
90%.
I have beer on my
I like to
board.
read both.
Beer on your, you've got beer on your shirt as well.
No.
Right, couple more. So this sea-dwelling ecosystem is the largest in the world. So what is it called?
What'd you get?
The Great Barrier Reef. At this, you are the champion of Australia. We're now in. It's more or less 2 times bigger than the Texas. More or less. More or less than 2 bigger than the state. For all the marbles, Flipper. Ah, you both got it wrong. You are the winner, sir.
Welcome Australia. Having a look at this.
Talking of doing their country.
The continent.
Look, gentlemen, we have Jack Della with us. I'll have to tell you to turn your attention
Sorry, Jack,
to the
my
screen.
apologies.
5 years since we've been here. A lot of new fans in the UFC might not know what the crowd in Perth sounds like. So what is it going to be?
Insane, you know. Yesterday we got a
see with your box Jack. Now I know you're a modest man, but how do you favour yourself in the ground exchanges this weekend?
Yeah, I think I can handle myself, you know. I think if given the opportunity I can show everyone what I'm about when it hits the ground.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Jack? Because you are known for the boxing, which is just beautiful, mate. You know, I think you got the best hands in the UFC. In fact, so do you. And you've beaten wrestlers like Ramazan Maviv. But what have you got on the ground, mate? Can you handle with these, you know, these top dogs, these heavy Dagestani-like wrestlers?
I think so. You know, I spent every single day for the last 10 years working on my grappling. So, yeah, I think I can handle myself. And what better test, though, than in the octagon?
G'day, Jack. Obviously, I love the way you box. I love your style. I love your offensive slipping, the way you get into the distance, into the range to unleash your own combos. And you've stopped all your opponents thus far with that set. Can we expect that? Obviously, that has to be massive in the game plan moving forward against such a tall, lengthy opponent.
Yeah, for sure. It's that for the game plan, you know. He's a tall guy. I think if I can get to the inside and put a punch combination together, I think I can attack Randy up and down, head, body, and I think I can get him out of there.
One of the main things, Jack, that you said is getting, if I can get past his range. That was like, if. What do you got to do to get past it? Like, how do you become longer against somebody who's so much longer than you?
I think just staying off the center line is probably key. Staying off the center line and, yeah, get off the center line and counter shots and, yeah, as you said, get to the inside and land heavy shots.
Jack, what does it mean to be the Perth man that's going to be walking out here at the RAC with this crowd behind you? In terms of the moments that you could achieve in the UFC to the one you're going to have now, I mean, is it up there on the bucket list?
Yeah, for sure. Something that was always on my bucket list is to fight RAC in the UFC in front of a packed home crowd, and to happen so early in my career, it's a dream come true.
And just remind us, you're so close, you're just going to be walking along with your duffel bag from your house. What is it, like a 15-minute walk or something, Jack?
Rugby kicks on there.
Yeah, about that, 15-20-minute walk. So I'll wake up, get out of bed around 12 o'clock and cruise to the fight and have a fight and then head on home.
Sounds like an easy day, but I know that it's not going to be. Jack, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see your fight tomorrow. I know it's going to be a big moment for you. So best of skill to you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Gentlemen, we have the Wheel of Misfortune at the ready.
The Wheel of Pain.
I mean, who's in there? Am I getting to spin this bad boy?
I get to pick. I have the power.
Hey, listen. You can... Right, okay.
I can't pick Dom because he's sculled 2 beers. You're too nice.
And we have a little history.
No, there's no history.
Listen, I will spin it.
Spin it.
I would have spun your head off, Robert, had that fight happened.
Rob, here, let me do it. I've always wanted to do this.
Hey?
Excuse me, coming all the way across. Let me
Is that how it works?
This is how it works.
Australasia's a thing. I'm
Is that
just
how it works?
Official complaint. What do we got? What is that?
Oh, the shocker.
I don't mind doing the shocker. It's just so boring.
No,
I
you have
wanna
to
do something
receive the
fun.
shocker.
Well, you can do the shocker and then do something else after.
That's the thing
It
about it.
always lands on the shocker.
So we got you. You got to give the shocker to Bisping, right?
No, I just hold
No, he's just going to do it
You got to
himself,
put
I think.
you got to put the nodes on your balls.
Shock it, mate. Oh shit.
I mean, you know, it's early in the morning. I'm not sure if the producers will allow us that, but
What? Allow what?
Yeah,
All
put
the
it,
balls?
you're putting it in your jocks.
Yeah. No, this is really good though because you're just keeping me talking, and you know, whatever's going to happen.
no, we should have a moment of,
I
suspense.
went green. I thought, that was it. Look at that, like a real man.
I don't know why it is. That always tickles me.
Man,
The old shocker.
You've got to hold on to it.
I feel like you grew up sticking your finger in walls.
You got to embrace the pain.
Probably pretty normal for you.
You know.
Right.
The real man.
As we said at the top of the show, it's been 3 years since the UFC has been back in Australia. It is, of course, a country that has given us so many spectacular moments. So please, let's have some historic nostalgia here. Check this out.
They say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. But 3 years can be an eternity for those of us living down under. It's been too long, and we missed you. Because there's something about the UFC coming to Australia that is electric. There is a kind of magic to it, a feeling in the air that something magnificent is afoot, something historic.
Holly looking to finish! Holly Holm is the new bantamweight champion!
And the truth is, though we're known for our beautiful beaches, the Great Barrier Reef, the Outback and all its glorious wonder, we also happen to be the epicenter for fighting, a true hotbed for MMA, with a history of valiant fighters. And we've been watching our warriors grow up. We've watched them become champions. We've voiced our passion from the other side of the Pacific, waiting for the return trek home to receive the hero's welcome they've well earned. Because the truth is, it's not just a sport for us Aussies, it's a bond. They are us, and we are them. And when we all get together, it's beyond a live event. It's a national happening. These are big-time moments. To see the lights drop on our own, to feel the crowd when his name is announced, to be in on the chase for history. To let the greatest fighter on the planet know he's home. From the Opera House of Sydney, down through the bush, and all the way to the coastal splendour of Perth, Western Australia, let us just say, welcome back.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Great stuff. All right, now we're going to talk about our top 5 oceanic fighters, so fighters from the region.
Australasian, perhaps.
Australasian is an accurate assessment.
It is an accurate description.
And we're going to do it of all time, not just current, of all time. And I'm going to come to you, Rob, for your top 5.
So these are my top 5, and they may be a little biased in their order,
So
but
it
is what it is. First up, we have Alexander Volkanovski. He's got to be star of the show. He's fighting for 2 belts, very dominant in his division. There he is. We've got Mark Hunt as number 2. I'm a big fan, always tuned into one of his fights. We've got Tai Tuivasa as a 3. Love the guy, love his attitude, sticks with it. Next up we have Israel Adesanya. Yeah, he's there. And then number 5, no, I actually don't mind him anymore, but he's not my cup of tea. And then number 5, we have Dan Hooker, who I'm a big fan of.
What about your impact? Well, surely you recognise your own impact.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put myself down.
Oh, come on.
You should do. You should do, mate, because you deserve to be there
100%.
without question. And we've got a lot of opinions in common there. I think I kind of read the memo a little bit wrong, though. I've got my top 5 right now, but still, Volkanovski as number 1. What he's done is just incredible, especially if he pulls it off this weekend. Behind that, Izzy. Sadly, I know that's a touchy one for you, but come on, we can't deny. outside of Anderson Silva.
Phenomenal fighter.
The resume, you can't deny it. The second best middleweight of all time. Then I've got you. You're right there. Nipping at the heels, Whittaker. I think on a third crack, he might just get the job done. Tied to Avasa, we got him in there. I mean, come on, who doesn't love that man? Action personified, fun personified, the walkouts, the fights, everything. I think, come on. I think
Shui Vasa.
we have a potential one at number 5. Jack Della Maddalena. I think when I watch this guy fight, I think he has all the ingredients to have a career that will be legendary, that we'll be talking about in 5 years' time saying, wow, remember that fight at UFC 284 in Perth? That was the coming out party, potentially. He could go on to become a champion, for sure.
To be decided, isn't it?
Yeah, TBD.
I only have 4, but I'm going to go with the 5th at the end, just another touch. My last 5th will be Hooker. I think that he's up there. He should be involved in that. But my number 1 is Mark Hunt, because I'm old school, and I don't know, there's something about him that I've just always loved. And the pride fights. I loved his pride fights. Izzy is number 2, obviously. Whittaker, I got you right behind him. One of the nastiest guys ever to come out of here, no question. Volk right underneath you, and then, I would have to put Hooker in there. He's pretty nasty. And I just love to watch him fight. Fun to watch. He's just fun to watch no matter what.
Yeah, nice. Well done. I'll give you mine for what it's worth.
No, we're good. Anyways,
okay, thank you very much.
Part of the show. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and close out now.
I'm going to give some love to Alexander Volkanovski. When I first met him, he came in saying that he wanted to be the good guy and take out all the bad guys. And I really remember that. That stuck with me, and I'm not sure that anyone really predicted the heights that he would get to. So that makes it all the more special. It's got to be Adesanya for the way that, for just the competition. He's right up there. And your good self, Rob, what you did at the Smashes against us fellow Brits, and what you've then kicked on to do has been remarkable stuff. Mark Hunt's up there for me for all of the sentiments that Don was talking about. And Taito Avasa, he's a fun guy, but he's made such a big impression and a big mark on the sports.
100%, John. I think we've got to give a little shout out, an honourable mention to the king of rock and rumble, Elvis Sinisic, though. He was one of the earlier guys putting this country on the map. He was the true pioneer. So shout out to the king of rock and roll, Elvis Sinisic, who, he's a legend. I lost the flow a little bit there.
Pioneer of the craft, for sure.
Well, I couldn't hear a thing that you guys were saying, but I've got a couple of truckloads that were just screaming in my ear. And
pay attention.
Something about
you, John.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Of course you should with this accent. Apparently we've had some questions that have been posed to us by the fighters. I think I'm getting the gist. So with that, I'm going to throw to the VT.
Would you box a kangaroo? And if so, who wins?
A who? I would not box a kangaroo because I would get beat up. You don't want to fight a kangaroo.
The funny thing about kangaroos is they have an extremely soft skull, one elbow. That kangaroo's finished.
I'm definitely gonna win if I fight a kangaroo.
Would you box him?
Of course I will, for good money. Yes, I will.
I'm gonna sunbeat kangaroo for sure. I know kangaroo have good striking, but nobody check the grappling.
Yeah, if they pay me enough.
I will box a kangaroo for sure, and I'm sure I'm winning.
Com certeza o canguru. Eu não faria não daria certo.
For sure I will fight against a kangaroo, and I will win.
I would box a kangaroo, and I think I could choke it out.
Would you box a kangaroo, and if so, who wins?
First of all, now I will tell you, it's kind of been my dream to fight a kangaroo. And I would put hands on him. I've watched you guys fight. Skill level 0.
I would if we could. I think we'll get in big trouble. But how would I beat him? I think I got a lot longer reach, so keep him on the outside.
That is brilliant. Sean Strickland, I've been dreaming. It's on my bucket list to fight a kangaroo.
I am really upset. The idea of you guys presenting these questions, punching on with our national icon, my favourite animal in the world, it is borderline sacrilege.
Okay, yeah. But with that said, Rob, would you beat one up? Who'd win between you and a kangaroo?
You're forgetting kangaroos. Now we got to let us assume the kangaroo's bloodlusted, right? Because what are you going to do? Like, hey, here's some food, and then bang, hit him. No, that's dog. You don't want a dog shot a kangaroo. These guys, bloodlusted, looking you dead in the eye, Like, he knows you're coming to take what's his. They've got talons on their feet.
They can't go backwards either, can they?
No, they hop on their tail and they swipe you. They gut each other like you will not believe. Like, I reckon a bloodlusted kangaroo does all you guys.
They got no teeth.
Yeah, this
might have a little talon. They might have a little,
to everyone who
little
answers that bloody
scratch,
question, a kangaroo does you. Like,
here's
you give me 6 weeks to get him in prep, he does you. Don't forget it. Strickland, go. Give me 8 weeks to get the kangaroo ready.
There's more kangaroos than people in Australia. They're vermin. They're pests.
You dare.
The people go out and shoot them. They blow their brains out for fun. And you're talking like you revere them. They taste good.
You are
though.
the kangaroo of humans. Stop it. Listen, if I was trying to fight a kangaroo, I wouldn't even fight it. I would be able to jump into his pocket.
You do this.
That's how good I am. I would get right into his pocket. I'd be chilling in the pocket, just drinking beer.
That literally is fighting from the inside?
No, I reckon a bloodlusted kangaroo does every one of those fighters, every single one.
A zombied kangaroo?
No, not a zombie. Like bloodlusted, like he's aggro.
We're going to move on. We've had our kangaroo discussion. We're going to talk about our rent-free moment. For this, I think we need to wet the whistle a little bit. Should we get a couple more Britney Spears here on the table?
You guys are kind of nursing these beers a little bit.
A couple of beers.
I love that. I was speaking to someone just the other day of how like we
can't
speak like that.
Keep saying that.
Like, you get the rhyming slang?
Yeah, the rhyming slang. It's like I don't know. It's really unique. Sometimes I don't always get them, but I love it when I hear it.
Britney Spears, beers. Yeah. All right. Rent-free moment. The moment that lives in your mind for free. Who's going to go first?
I'll go first.
Michael's going first.
I mean, it's just any time I think of Yair Rodriguez, I always think about when he almost beat me up in Mexico City. He had that fight against Jeremy Stevens. Sadly, there was an eye poke, and then the Mexican crowd went crazy. Brendan Fitzgerald hid under a desk.
That's outrageous.
You know, he said, Michael, come and join me. In fact, let's take a little listen. And then I walk in and speak to Yair, and he's like, puta! I was like, whoa. Let's take a look.
You deserve every word of that.
Relax, bro.
I saw the fear in your eye.
What did he say?
Well, he called me a bitch. I know what a preacher
It was your
means.
fault.
Oh my God.
Like it's my fault. I did not poke Jeremy Stevens in the eye.
You so asked for that.
Cut your fingernails, bro. He's got kangaroo talent.
Why call you a bitch?
I don't know. So yeah, we live bloody rent free in my mind.
Can we see that again, please?
Let's go then.
He was
so mad.
I think Yair just became my favorite fighter.
That is golden.
I didn't even flinch though.
You're keeping him at arm's length, but
I don't need to stereotype here, but that is Northern Dorman. If you had a black, like that is like settle down, young man.
Come on, mate.
Or before we going out the back door, down the stairs.
He just became my favorite fighter.
That was incredible. He did call Bissy a bitch in the middle of
That was so good. How can
he meant it.
Oh, how can anybody else
came from
come
the
up with a
soul.
better one now?
Oh, no,
yeah, that's a tough one. Tough act to follow.
you-
Mine's just a good old-fashioned 1-minute knockout. I don't like a loser. But Islam Makhachev knocking out Gleison Tibau at UFC 220.
Yeah.
For a couple reasons. One, hey, the striking of Islam. Hey, people forget about that. And two, you remember Khabib Nurmagomedov is undefeated, potentially asterisk, because people think Gleison Tibau beat Khabib Nurmagomedov, and then he got to beat him. So Islam got revenge of like this sort of maybe one loss for Khabib.
All right, well, I knew that you guys were going to pick the obvious ones, so I thought I'd go a little left field. And it's a bit close to my heart as well, because Mo Bukauskas is from the very same town as me in Watford, so it kind of felt a little closer to home, and I almost felt the pain of it. But when Roundtree annihilated his knee with that technique, a lot of people have called for the technique to be banned. I don't agree, by the way. So it was kind of, and he was just like stone-faced the whole way through. Pretty terrifying.
Yeah, you would pick a losing moment for a fighter from your hometown. You just want to say, hey, I live in the same town, but by the way, he got beat.
I didn't. I felt for him. What I'm saying is, and it is a horrendous injury.
I thought about it because that's the scene I show. I go, check this out, guys. Like that's the thing I throw my phone
Can't get it
around.
out of my head.
Yeah. Well, who can? But
celebrating his downfall, you might say, John.
It's commiserating.
He's fighting tomorrow. Like I was like a little rough.
He's back.
A little rough. He's back.
He's back.
My one is again left field as well. Is Jimmy Crute and his submission on Paul Craig.
The Bear Jew.
Yeah, because
the submission guy.
Yeah, he's a submission guy. His grappling has led him to so many victories, and he's so dangerous on the ground. And for Krupp to get him down and to take his own game to him, I just really found that dynamic. I don't know, impressive. And I was there for that fight, so again, that's probably why it's just always in my head.
Yeah, I have two, but I'm going to go with the first one. That Yair Rodriguez against the Korean Zombie, that back elbow. He's just moving backwards and just, I mean, what was that? Like, that was incredible. Look, and that fight was a war. It was like he was not looking good in that fight for a while.
Look at that. He's still face down.
Him.
Yeah,
and the other one was Derek Lewis
it.
taking his pants off in the middle of the octagon saying, "My balls is hot." Like, how is that?
He's not on the card, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That is a rent-free moment. Like, when does that ever happen?
Well,
when is
especially in
somebody
Australia, your
taking
balls do get hot.
It does get hot.
When do you take your pants off in the middle of the octagon? How does that happen?
But that Korean Zombie elbow was nuts. Like, because when he went down, like we just saw just then, that's what makes it so impactful. He's like, he's gone to the world. Like, he's gone.
The feel, like, we all know that was like a feel thing. Like, it wasn't like a move that you practiced.
He didn't know he was going to throw it. He just fell into it.
And he hit the canvas and then like ground to a halt, skidded slow.
And nobody knocks out the Korean Zombie. It's like you don't knock him out very easy. Like, it's one of the hardest guys to sleep.
Everyone who fights Jair has to be like, all right, watch for elbows from God knows where.
Yeah.
Never
some angle.
Never allow a hole in your defense. Like, never lower those hands against that guy.
Shame on that guy for getting knocked out. You know, never allow a hole. Bro, we all know this, but you left a hole.
Switch off for half a second.
Well, it was good for 24
an
and 59 seconds, or however long it lasted. It's time now for you to become headmaster. You're going to quiz us on a little Aussie slang. Right. I'm going to steal your weapons.
Not again.
Here we go.
Thank you very much, John.
This isn't trivia, is it? This is trivia. I'm just going to drink again.
Are we accepting wrong answers as correct answers like last time?
Close enough. Will work, I guess.
So these are Australian words that we probably don't know.
Yep.
That we're going to have a little fun with.
I feel like the English boys should get them a little bit.
Don't throw us under the bus.
Yeah, it's got to be the hardest for you, I believe.
Oh no.
Right. In your own time, Rob. Let's go.
All right, here we go. What does this word mean? Sheila.
Sheila.
Dom's looking at me for answers. I can't help you.
Sheila, mate.
Is that like?
I'm trying to pass it through.
I just don't want to get myself in trouble.
I'm trying to pass it through to you mentally. Got to help him out. He's half drunk.
Well, stop it. It takes more than that. You stop it.
Listen.
I hope my Sheila's at home looking after the place, mate.
Mine's a bird, right? But the English version of a bird.
How'd you get that wrong?
No, it's not wrong. It's
wrong.
It's slang. Yeah, a bird is what we call
We're in
Sheila.
Australia, bud.
Yeah, but what's a Sheila? It's a bird.
It's a chick, a lady.
It's a woman.
Yeah, that's what the bird is.
English version.
Yeah, he's going slang for slang over here.
Bro.
Give him a hard time, Rob. Don't let him get away
Next
with
one, here we go. What does Barbie mean?
What is what?
Barbie.
Okay.
It's Ken's. Oh crap! I just gave it away. Gave it away. Ken's.
Couple shrimps on the Barbie, mate.
Yeah. That was an easy one. That was a giveaway.
Not to Bruce Buffer, it wasn't. We asked him the other day. He had no idea.
Here we go. What's this one? Bogan.
Bogan. Oh, how would you even explain it?
Very simple, John.
It's like you're a bogan.
Very simple.
I'd say I get it. I'm going slang for slang here. I'm going slang for slang.
Skank.
Chav.
No.
Chav is like a low-class society person.
Like chav means
like a dumb idiot.
Skank.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Definitely not that one. I reckon Dominic Cruz is the closest.
Wow. Hey, what do you mean?
Dom's a
Chav is
No, it's not.
It's a low class. That's a low class.
Like a dumb idiot, right? It's like a dumb idiot.
Yeah, it's like a hillbilly.
Yeah.
Well,
a skank. A
skank. Yeah, skank.
Yeah, well, that bogan would be the same, but we don't have the
Let's move on.
outback, do we?
What's a coldie?
Excuse me?
What's a coldie?
Oh, I think I know what that is.
Should do. Dom's had two of them.
Ah, there we go.
Oh yeah.
There we go. That was an easy one.
Mexican protein
giveaways.
shakes for the win.
Mexican protein.
Here's a word. Some yakka.
Excuse me?
Yakka.
Yakka.
Yeah. Hard yakka.
hard yakka.
Practically gave it away then. Here's a hint. I'm full of it, mate.
Oh, what shit?
Hard work. What's that say?
Banter.
Nah. Someone who doesn't shut up. No, it's hard work. Hard
shit.
work.
I
didn't know that
Some
one.
hard yakka. Next up, we go
Yucca.
hard yakka.
That was like somebody who just talked and talked and talked.
Yeah, like you're in the nutty. The word is nutty.
Nutty?
Yeah, you're in the nutty.
You said nutty, not done it.
No, nutty.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Nut house.
Yeah, it's naked.
Oh, it's naked?
Yeah, it's
oh,
naked.
Nutty?
Yeah.
I thought you said nutty.
Don't
As in
got
like
it.
nut
Like
house.
naughty?
No, the nutty.
The nutty. The nutty.
UTT or
N-U-D-D-Y. The nude. All right.
Nutty.
Oh, nice.
Ace.
Mrs. G makes sure I'm in the nutty as often as possible.
John, there's not an image I want in my head.
The word ace.
Ace.
Yeah, ace.
My pen's running out here. I'm getting so excited.
That's a good one.
Ah.
There we go.
Yeah, top good. Yeah, good.
Ace.
I'm struggling.
The one and only.
It's not too late. It's not
Good,
too late.
good
It's
is
not
the
too
one and
Who
only.
sang the one and only?
All right.
Yeah, same thing.
Who,
All right.
who
Next
sang-
one.
That
We
was a win.
We got servo.
Servo.
Yeah. It's gonna head to the servo. Never see me.
Oh yeah. It's going to be different.
Pick us up a pack of ciggies from the servo.
Oh yeah, mate. Right on.
Getting into it.
Right on, mate.
Feeling his Aussie vibes.
Right on, you ripper.
Yeah. Spot on.
John is the winner. Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
Oh, I could do that all day. I love
Winner,
that kind of
chicken
thing.
dinner.
Better than trivia. Trivia was rough.
Ah, Dom, you're close. Why don't you spin the wheel
Dom.
there? Go on,
See what
son.
happens.
Go on, son. Welcome to the show and all that. I want the rugby kick. Oh.
Social media takeover.
What does that mean?
Oh no, it's so
give me your phone, bro.
Bisping takes your phone.
Is that a
Give me your
thing?
phone.
It's gonna take your phone.
That seems very
and post
full on.
something.
A little.
So he gets to take access to your Instagram and do a story.
Oh, I'm sweating for you right here.
Highway.
Oh boy.
Unlock the phone.
Look how excited
Go to
he is.
Instagram
He's
and not
licking his
a
lips over
reel.
there.
Frothing.
Not a post,
I'm
just a story. Temporary
You're
story.
trying to keep it together, buddy.
How do I post something that's bad for Dom and not bad for me?
Can we go to the bathroom?
How about I give it? I'm gonna
You
give
have my permission.
Oh, why am I going to do it? Dom,
You can be in
No,
charge
it's for
of it.
Michael
Come
and
on,
Oh no, I
You do it.
have to give it to Michael
No, not
Bisping.
me.
Why me? Why me?
Michael Bisping, you have to post on Dom's social media.
Oh
Post
no.
something on social media.
Drink your beer. Just do a post to drinking your
Do
beer,
a
man.
nice
Do a
post.
video.
We're here in Australia with Robert Whittaker. Sadly, this is terrible, but Dominic passed away.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No, why are you laughing?
Oh
It's grief.
Why am I laughing?
It's grief. It's one of the many steps, denial, all that stuff. But Dom's not with us anymore. Dom he's gone.
And now everybody's so
He got
confused
eaten
why
by
I'm
a
so mean
shark.
to Bisping. Nobody understands why. Now we get it.
No, I kicked the fuck out of it. Right, because he's driving me
How long is
nuts.
this story? Is it really? I mean, does it need to be this long?
It's a ghost.
It's a story.
Stories go forever nowadays.
Dom's dead.
Post
We
it.
can just keep it going.
Headline back home in San Diego. That's in the world.
Don't delete. That's not in the rules.
Oh, we have serious business here. Zubaira Tuhugov stepping up a weight class to 155. Needs the towel or the shield. What's the formal word for this bad boy? The shield?
Yeah, he's going to go down to the. I don't think there's a formal term.
The DC weight maker.
He's gone to the nutty. Did he tell him that doesn't do anything?
No, they do it so that you don't grab like DC. That's the new DC gate.
I see.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Dom. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because people used to do that back in the day to try and make themselves a little bit lighter, but it doesn't do anything.
DC made that rule right there.
But no, you're absolutely right. 100%.
157 and a half. The official weight for Zubaira Tukhugov.
For the
1.5 pounds over the lightweight limit.
Fighter.
And he moved up.
Yeah. That's a big miss.
He missed weight twice at 45. Now he moved up and missed it.
Yeah, that's
157 and a half.
157.2.
Yeah, you cannot miss weight like that, especially you move up.
This was supposed to be a new chapter.
It's like
it's a new chapter, all right.
The late,
it's a bad one though.
Great Anthony Johnson, bless him. He did a similar thing.
All right. Well, on to more fun things, and earlier on this week the fighters really did have a bunch of fun here in Western Australia.
All right, what's going on? We're here in Western Australia. That is Bruce Buffer, Hall of Famer Michael Bisping, Dominic Cruz. We're about to get hot though. We're about to go to the Caversham Wildlife Park in Swan Valley. Western Australia taking care of everything this week, so we will be back with more. We gotta get out of here. Let's go.
Buff, are we in East or West Australia?
Really had to hit me with that question right now.
All right, what's going on? We're here in Western Australia. That is Bruce Buffer.
Name 5 animals native to Australia.
Koala bear, kangaroo.
I know the answers.
5?
Before we go on in, I'll just explain a little bit about the koalas. Koalas are not called koala bears.
Koala bear?
They're just koalas. They have a pouch like the kangaroo where they keep their babies. They feed on eucalyptus leaves. Scrubs. Well, it doesn't matter which ones you touch as long as you're gentle.
Once you get hugged by a koala, you're happier, right?
It's like a feeling of peace, serenity.
Buff, this is a girl, which is also known as what in Australia?
A Sheila.
Just like most of Buff's women, she felt raised.
My kids will be very excited that I participated. Hi, kids. Hi, Riley. Hi, Tatum. Hunter. What's up, man?
Wombats get kisses. I guess we're eating kangaroos.
There you go.
What a mom. What a mom.
Michael, you're getting a few tips.
Well, I don't even know this, Bruce, but I'm a sexual tyrannosaurus.
Leaving Caversham Wildlife Park off to the winery. We're going to get Bruce Buffer all tipsy, and we look forward to seeing you guys over there.
That won't take much.
Good eye, mate.
Sheila's a woman, so what would you call a man in Australia? What's the slang term? Hell.
Sheila, a Larry?
Hello.
A blow.
What's the Barbie?
Barbie, a pretty woman?
Oh!
Here we go. The adventure continues.
We're being forced to drink wine. As we all know, I'm teetotal, but I'll be a team player.
I was going to be sober in February. Not going to do that anymore.
From picking the grape to it becoming a bottle of wine, how long is that process? Chilling red wine. What's the official stance on that? What is that I'm smelling? Because my palate is not the most sophisticated. That's probably the best white wine I've ever had.
Yeah, the best white wine.
All right, we're a little bit hammered here.
Hold on. Well, I just want to say we're at the Sandalwood.
We appreciate all the hospitality. It's been a great day here at the Sandalford Winery. We thank everybody here in Perth, Western Australia. It's been an incredible week. We got some work to do, so we got to sober up.
I'm grateful. Thank you. The only thing that bothers me is it's made Michael talk more.
Very good. You guys have fun?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Sandalford Winery. What a place. And Caversham as well. Gotta go, Rob.
Take the family one day.
Yeah.
I've tried time and time again to be that wine guy and to be sophisticated. Like, so many times me and the wife have gotten like an antipasta platter with some cheeses and we've got a red wine.
Ooh,
and then
very middle class.
I have a sip and I'm like, can I get a Coke Zero, please? I do
the opposite way around. I walk in, I say, I'm not drinking. I say, I'm just going to have a Coke Zero tonight. I take one sip and I'm like, get this shit away from me immediately and bring me a beer.
Yeah. Or a wine.
Or a wine, of course.
Although I have gotten in the wine recently in a cooking sense, just because I've been playing around with cooking and wines are thrown in there.
Key.
Yeah, very
You
nice.
got to learn.
Very
Gotta learn.
good. You and Volk, you should get a little cooking show going together. Parlay some of those skills. We are now going to test your coaching abilities, gentlemen. This is how it's going to work. It's a game that we call You Better. So with that terrifying stare that you have right now, which is intimidating for me, Rob, we're going to kind of ask you to go such and such fighter, you better, and then you're going to give the instruction. Are we all clear? You've been here before.
I think so. I
Dom,
don't know.
did I explain that badly?
Terrible.
Have I got an easy one at least?
Here's an example of how you're going to do it. So I'm going to give you a name like Islam Makhachev. Begin with Islam, and then you better hit a single leg
I got
early
it.
on.
You didn't give me an easy one.
Well, we're going to go. I'm going to let Michael go first.
Let's go.
And here we go. So, Islam Makhachev, you better
establish position.
Speak to him, Michael. Speak to him.
Yeah, I am. Islam, you gotta establish position of a submission. You cannot rush this. If you take him down, the little barrel-less Volkanovski is going to try and roll to a base and get back to his feet to win this fight. He will take him down, but he has to keep him down. The downward pressure, the position of a submission, brother. This is what he must do. To win this fight. No number one bullshit. Has to do position over submission.
Dom.
Islam, you better move forward, head him off, don't follow, get him on the fence and keep him there and drive his head into that little corner the entire fight.
All right, we're going to move along to Volkanovski. Rob, what do you got for Volk?
All right, Volk, bring it in. Come close. Come nice and close, mate. Now listen, we're going to keep it real simple, buddy. I want combos no more than 2. I want straight line kicks. I want you centering off the octagon, never overcommitting, or throwing it like 60, 70%. That's all I want. I want kicks at a minimum. I want to see calf kicks every I don't know, 10 strikes. I want to see teep kicks every 20 strikes, okay? Just to mix it up. I want straight line punches, utilizing your jab and your cross, 60, 70%, not to overcommit, controlling the space. I want you to point spar this guy for the entire time, 5 rounds.
Hold up. Don't you always finish with Aussie?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry.
No, no, we don't do that here.
Volk, you got to start with the inside kick because it makes you longer. That is your form of jab. After you land the inside kick, make sure you're going to the body and you're moving Makhachev backwards. You cannot let him move you backwards because you're the shorter man. Move him backwards, stay on the outside, and make sure you're beating up the body. If you're attacking the body with your hands, then it's going to be hard for him to get underneath your arms and take you down, and it makes your takedown defense better while you're also taking the air out of his lungs. Make sure you move forward, bro. You're short.
Coach Dom, we're staying with you. This one's
nice way to wrap it up.
Yeah, just build him up before you know. Yair Rodriguez, El Pantera, Dom.
Yair Rodriguez, make sure that you're not moving back the entire fight because that's exhausting. Make sure that you're throwing the teep kicks up the middle, knees up the middle, and once he starts trying to get past those weapons, that's when the elbows are going to come in. Keep the outside. Once he starts moving out of the pocket, in order to stay from your knees and elbows, now your outside weapons will be of use. Your heel kicks, your spinning kicks, and your big kicks around the outside. Keep him at that range, at kicking range, and Emmett's going to have a long night.
Listen, Yair, right, you got a tough fight on your hands. We all know you got to avoid the power punches and all the rest of it. But the best piece of advice I can give to you is that if you ever call me a little fucking bitch again on international TV, it'll be the last thing you ever do. I'm messing, of course.
Rob, we're coming to you for Josh Emmett. Coach Rob.
Josh, mate, listen to me, okay? listen to me good. You need to keep it clean. You need to keep your defenses up. You need to cut him off and just live in his space. You need to get his back up against the fence so that you need to reduce the amount of options he's given. You got to crowd him and make it a long night in the office. You get his back up against the fence. I want to see some takedowns. That's what I want to see from you. Utilize your takedowns, grind him out, make him hate being in there with you.
Let the hands go, Josh. That's what we want to see. You've got fists of, I don't know, you've got power, you've got explosion. Cut that cage off, get it in his face, and go for it. Let it go. Let it go. But that fact he told us before about the beard absorbing the punches, don't rely on that.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
Can I coach Yair as well? I want to coach him as well.
You want to go?
Yair. Now listen to me, mate. I want you to go in there and just fucking do whatever. whatever. Like, whatever you want.
How you feeling? Do that.
No plan. Go in there,
Yes, that's exactly.
be free. Just throw everything in the kitchen sink at him, mate. Just get out there and have fun with it.
That's good. So,
exactly what's gonna happen.
Staying with Coach Rob, and probably quite a different bit of information. What do you got for Jack Della?
Jack, mate.
Just do whatever you want.
Jack, mate. You need to live in his space. If you stay on the outside, he's going to keep you there for the entire night, and it's going to be a long night for you. You need to crowd his space, force him to make jabs, so that you can establish your slip and start hurting him up, getting your combos up, landing some damage, and slowing him down.
We're in the locker room with Randy Brown, Coach Michael.
Yeah, so listen, Randy, everything that we just heard Rob say that Jack is going to do, don't let him do that. Stay on the outside, use the teeps, use the movement, use the jabs, use the God-given length that you have. Do not let this crazy Australian in the pocket, because he's good there.
Yeah, he loves it there. We all love it in the pocket, don't we?
The old pocket. I can put Dom in my pocket.
Oh, wow. Coach Dom.
I would love it there, Bisping. I would love it there.
Jimmy Crute for you, Coach Dom.
If you're Jimmy Crute, attack the lead leg. That takes away the overhand right of Menifield. Also, move him back on his heels. He's a big, powerful man that pretty much only moves forward. You get him moving back, you take away a lot of his weapons. Get him on the fence early in that first round, get his muscles full of blood, and then he slows down a little. Use your speed in rounds 2 and 3. And like I said, attack that lead leg. It will take away the power out of his backhand.
Fantastic coaching, everyone. Brilliant analysis. Very good, very good. We're going to go and listen to some of the starring cast this week, because those of you that haven't been to Australia, they love their coffee. Like 5 paces, another coffee shop, another coffee shop. So we had to ask, how'd you take your coffee?
How do you take your coffee?
Black. I take my coffee black. Mochas, extra chocolate. I like a strong coffee with a little bit of milk.
I like it all kinds of ways.
I love it a bit sweet and I need my milk.
Black, latte.
So a bit of cream and a bit of sugar.
I usually take my coffee black during fight camp. Otherwise, a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar.
Double shot, but I like it black. Sometimes a dash of milk.
I don't actually drink coffee. I'm more of a tea drinker.
I like a strong flat white.
How do you take your coffee?
Lots of cream, sugar, very sweet.
Iced all year round.
I like a big coffee with almond milk.
Ooh, caramel latte.
How do you take your coffee?
Coffee? I don't like coffee. Now I'm cutting weight. The diet guy say you can drink just coffee, no juice, water and coffee. Now I have every day 1 cup.
Okay, I don't know if you can see me here looking through the crowd. This is a physical challenge, gentlemen, called tic-tac-toe. You're going in early, Michael. Good on you. I don't actually know how to play this, so RJ might have to talk us through it.
Stop it.
But
Stop saying that.
So it's
there's a little
tic-tac-toe.
video sample.
You've never played tic-tac-toe?
I've never played this.
Noughts and crosses.
Noughts and crosses. Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, that makes it. It's
what us cultured people call it.
So, I get to pick who I'm going to play with.
You're never playing with me.
I'm going to take my Australian cousin here, Robert Whittaker. Okay. So Dom and Michael will play. Let's put them under pressure. They're going to play second.
You messed up, mate. First mistake you've made today.
Oh, can I change it, guys?
2022 Noughts and Crosses champion.
Here you go. Help yourself.
Right.
But what happens if I miss?
If you miss,
okay.
It's my turn.
So, all right, guys, over here.
How does it work? Where do we throw from?
You're throwing from right here behind this table.
Okay, does it got to bounce?
It does not have to bounce.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a ping pong ball.
So ping pong balls, like beer pong, beer pong style rules.
Okay.
One team is Team Orange.
I'll be honest.
And then one
Oh, I
team's
thought it
team
was like a
eggshell
team
white.
thing. I thought we were teaming up against one another. I was trying to keep you. I was trying to get the rivalry going here a little bit.
Or that what
now
I
I'm
said
going
wouldn't have
head to
made
head.
sense when I said
I'm all
it.
over the place this morning,
Then
Rob.
you're
It's like
calling me
God
out.
knows what time where
Let's
I'm
go.
from.
Watch this. And be
You lost enthusiasm on the spread. Oh.
Wow, that was a nice shot.
All right.
Low one.
Shot, come on,
I think accuracy.
Use the white ball.
I think accuracy will win this game.
I'm not taking advice from you. We're playing
It's
against
on
one another
ball.
right now.
Listen to me, John.
Glad to be doing all that, John.
Listen to me.
On this side, Rob.
It's all in the wrist.
Oh. Rob,
Okay,
it's all.
sorry.
Depth perception is not my
Oh, I
friend.
think you're intimidating him, John.
Shit. Oh.
It worked.
All right, stepping up to the play. We have John Gooden so far. Not doing very well.
Oh, damn it.
Jeez Louise, John. Get it
That's
together.
bad, isn't
You're
it?
representing the
Sorry,
motherland.
I'm very sorry.
Oh.
That hit the bread. This.
We can
You touched the crust.
Lean as far as you can. You can use some help here. Basically dunk it.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Crying out loud.
Johnny,
We could
Johnny.
be here a while.
We could be here a while.
Oh, you're a little close.
Really
there, Rob.
lean, really lean in.
Really lean.
The spread of the Marmite is not even though.
Okay.
There you go, John. Good lad. Good
Come on,
lad.
at least I'm on the board.
He's got,
There
long,
you
he's
go.
got longer arms than me.
Might be here. Wow.
Shit.
No,
No.
I don't want it easy. I don't want excuses after I.
We're gonna be here all
After I've
day,
been
though.
doing
That's the
but-
thing.
This segment's going to take forever.
Fuck, I keep getting the same one.
Oh!
Is it, well, hold on. It's
No,
not
it doesn't count. It
Good
doesn't.
on it.
No, it does not
That should
count.
count.
No way.
Oh, come on.
I mean, if that was.
Oh, we got a twofer.
All right.
Take her.
For the block!
I want to do this as well for him.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, he blocks it! He blocks it!
Right.
It's going to take forever.
Right.
I wonder
None of it.
how long we were given
What
for this
strategy to go with now? Corner.
Oh,
He's got the right
there's not enough
strategy.
Vegemite on that one.
Needs the execution.
I just want to eat the bread.
Hungry.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
So goopy.
We're a darts nation as well, aren't we? We should be all right at this. But I haven't been down the boozer for a while.
Can you please go? I gotta pee, man. Hurry up.
Oh!
Thank you for the
That
pressure.
for the
John.
block! Nothing, no.
No,
it does. Yeah.
No.
Go, Dom, go.
I got this.
Oh, missed the table.
No!
All right, this one for all the marbles.
I keep hitting it for the mother.
For the win!
It was a slow start. It was a slow start.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you. I've never been so proud.
Yeah.
Well, Dom's gone to the bathroom.
I'll be a substitute.
Won't take him very long.
Let me just grab this.
Is that a knock on him somehow? Or?
Well, yeah. I mean,
wow.
listen.
Small bladder?
Oh, is that
Small
'cause he's
bladder,
fast? 'Cause he's
small
fast.
person, small
They
feet,
have balls.
small amount of urine to pass. So I'm up first, I believe.
All right. Let's see if we can.
Utilise
Whoa.
the God-given gifts.
That's a really good
one.
point. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Gotta help Dom out here.
Undie? Underhand? Fuck. Okay.
Robbie.
This could go. This could go a quick game.
Where's Dom?
Oh no.
Dom.
You can't dunk it.
I can do whatever I want.
He's a Hall of Famer. He can do whatever he wants.
Come on.
Getting
I
Vegemite
would
on
be
your fingers.
slightly off on the line.
He's not even behind the table.
Nailed it!
I don't want to be a stickler for the rules.
This
but-
just in.
I'm sorry,
This
Dom.
just in.
The
No
pressure
problem.
is
I'm sorry, Dom.
The officials
When
in the
it
track.
comes-
No problem with
Hey,
that.
back and
Look,
behind the
he's
line.
not
Behind the
behind.
line.
He has
At
one
least
eye.
put behind the line.
They say he's handicapped is to balance it out, so it's all good.
I'm not handicapped, John. That's,
Well, no, as in a sporting.
I'm handicapped. Wow.
That's it, I really like
Very
that.
handy capable here.
They're covered in
that stuff
Marmite.
is
It is kind of, you're just kind of like.
Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. What are we going to get? Oh, and we still didn't get any.
Well, the track. Go on, John.
I've got a few skills here, but.
Right.
Okay. All right. We.
Give us a white ball. Last one.
We're going to
last
have a little
one.
bit of fun here.
Shotgun
While
approach.
he's doing this, let's take a little closer look on Islam Makhachev.
Yes!
Well done, Michael.
Habib retired, and now it is his turn. That is the legacy. That is what they've been training for. That has been the plan all along.
I told you guys, Islam Makhachev is the best fighter, not in lightweight. He's a pound for pound #1 fighter in right now. Today,
Islam is so damn dangerous He's got a skill set that is just overwhelming and stifling. He's got submission skills, ground and pound, but it's just that pressure and that strength and that sambo wrestling background that just scares the hell out of guys. Guys don't want to face him.
That's the boogeyman that they're avoiding. He's so damn talented.
Pick your poison with this guy. Everywhere you turn, there's danger.
Hey guys, you can run, but you can't hide. I'm coming, I'm here.
Islam Makhachev delivers another finish in the first round.
When you have the skills and the squeeze that Islam Makhachev has, it's done. It's over.
Oh, this is tight. Oh.
All right, I'm back, the champ of the new game that I've now decided that I've
How does it feel to win at something?
Oh, Dom, ouch. I'm a winner in life.
I was just asking.
But it was great. It's good to carry on the streak, the life streak there, winning. Anyway, enough about me. We have a professional gamer in the house here, and Robert Whittaker. I don't know if you guys know. They are finally going to do the dance together, this time virtually, digitally.
Can I
Whittaker versus
No, I've got an official complaint again about the physical state of my character there.
Was it before the knee replacements or after?
Nice.
I have a complaint too.
Let's go, Robert.
I want 5 stars. Why do I only have 4?
Yeah, I know exactly. Now,
is this the
if
newest
this was Street Fighter 2, I would, without question, wipe the floor with
There are no takedowns in this. Apparently, it's stand and bang mode.
I don't know what the buttons are.
Well, this should be interesting.
Bang mode is definitely standard.
Oh, cool. That's the dead.
Come on, Rob. Yes.
What one block?
I like it. Yeah, I don't know what blocks. Yeah, I'm just like, regardless, backyard brawl. Let's go, baby. Come on, Rob. See what you got, bro. What are these buttons do? Okay, that's cool.
A little feeling out process here early, Dom.
Figure out the buttons.
Oh, jeez.
Let's go!
Oh, my word.
Let's go!
No surprise, it was the left hook.
Let's go!
Always the left hook.
Let's go! Brain damage,
He went to the weak side on Bisping.
Oh, this is quite intense. You've got to throw something back, mate.
I'm figuring out how to block. Never mind blocking.
Don't worry about blocking, it's some offense. Oh, there you go. Always the technician. That's better. There it is. Turning that over. Oh, jeez. Oh, that didn't feel good. Oh, that didn't feel good.
Best out of 3.
Put you away.
Would you like to go?
That's exactly what would have happened in real life.
All right, come on. Come on, welterweight.
Who wants it?
I want some.
No. Best out of 3. Best out of
some?
3. Best out of 3.
All right, I'll take that. You go again.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I like it.
If you want it, I'll
It's just feeling his feet.
The rematch.
I'm happy to feed you, brother. Let's go.
Oh, the instant replay would be good.
To be fair, well done. Nice head kick there. Reminiscent of, what was that, David Brunson?
Sorry?
The head kick. The head kick, right?
Beautiful head kick, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, he's definitely practiced.
Oh, this is good.
I'm fine. Oh, no. Let me help you, dog.
Nah. Come on, Rob. Come on, keep that same energy, bro.
The jab's working.
Oh, that's
left hook,
Larry
for the win.
I'm all right.
You're not. You're not. Sit down. I'm all right. Stay down, bitch. Stay down. Come on, bro. Left hook, Larry's on the inside, bro.
Come on, you want some? Come get some. What are you doing? Breathing? You're breathing heavy.
Take a little time.
Breathing heavy, dog.
Let's
go. Let's go. All right. I'm talking a lot of shit then. Huh? Oh, shit. I'm all right.
Yeah, you know.
I am. Oh, no, I'm all right. He'll get up.
He said that. We got a decider.
You see,
1-1.
you see what happened? Like it got to my head.
Yes,
it reflected in my fight, in my performance.
This is good. This is getting a little tense now.
It reflected in my performance.
You got a little confident.
I was out on the town the weekend before.
Are you drinking wine with Paulo Costa?
I was drunk.
Spinning heel kick.
I was drunk.
Spinning heel kick.
The loser will spin the wheel to end the show, as well as bragging rights
Sugar.
for the winner. The match that should have happened many moons ago. All the
Calm
trash
down,
talking.
Robert. We're crying out loud. We're friends. Come on, get up. Where's Louise?
Ceremonial weigh-in, 6 Eastern on YouTube. Make sure you catch those.
Come on, Bisping.
Kick him.
Come on, you got more
Kick
heart
him.
than that, brother.
Why are my kicks so clumsy? Oh, good block, good block.
Oh, nice combination work.
Oh, that could be it. I think that's it.
See you later, brother.
Oh, that's it?
Well,
see you, mate. Straight to the
Left hook.
infirmary.
there was
Always
a
a left hook with you
controller,
guys.
clearly.
Straight to the infirmary. You're welcome.
Well done, well done, well done. Well, you might as well stand up and stay there,
A broken
Michael,
jaw
'cause
to
you've
that
got
add to my list of injuries.
You've got to spin the wheel.
That was the best thing that's happened to me this week.
I hope we get another
Okay.
social
I'll
media
move.
one.
Hold on, what do we got?
We're here.
There we go. Right, what are we hoping for?
I don't know.
Instagram.
Not that crap again.
No, I want the ball.
Yeah, I
think we
wanna
need
keep the
to.
ball.
I think we need. I think.
What is that?
I think. Oh, there we go. Rugby kick.
I want a rugby kick.
Rugby kick. Well, you can have a little go. You got to. What are the rules?
Kick in the stance.
You've got to kick it in the stand as far as you can. Take cover.
I want to get out of the shooting range.
From right here, yeah.
We're doing over here.
Knowing my luck, I'll get hit square in the
Camera's going to
face.
follow you off
Okay.
stage.
Follow you.
Round
Over
here.
Okay.
Let's all go.
Guys,
Let's have an
listen.
outing.
Careful, Bisping. Don't hurt yourself.
Whether it's rugby, American football, whatever it is, listen, when you're an athlete, you're an athlete. When you've got it, you've got it. So let's goddamn go.
Oh, up she goes.
That was a good kick.
Isn't it supposed to be a
Go on,
spiral?
son.
Oh, it didn't
Isn't it
quite.
supposed to
Back in the
spiral?
net.
I don't know about that. That was a good effort. I think it's supposed to clear the RAC, but it's
Shut up,
it's
John.
gone.
Shut up.
They reckon it's out of here. It's out of here. Well done, Michael Bisping,
That was a good kick.
Robert Whittaker. Are we going now? Is this ended?
You know.
Final
You know.
thoughts, Dom? That main event. What do you reckon? Going to decision. We're going to get a finish.
You know.
I think that I don't really have an opinion because I'm kind of neutral.
Okay.
I'm in the middle. So I'm going to say that the key is wrestling versus striker. Let's be honest, everybody knows that.
Okay.
It's going to be a good
Robert
fight.
Whittaker down.
On the fence, Bob. Is that what they call you over here?
On the fence, Bob.
Mate, you can give a winner. You can do it. You're allowed.
You're saying it's wrestling versus striking, which I do agree. Like, obviously, the wrestling is going to have a huge and heavy influence of this fight. But I do think Makhachev's stand-up game is going to be an obstacle Volkanovski has to overcome. I don't think it's as clean-cut as just like Volk has the superior striking, because Makhachev's tight-knit boxing is perfect for stalking down guys, getting their back up against the fence, and him just walking down Volk with those hands up, tight shell, might be a bit of a problem.
And with that said, though, who wins? You got to give a prediction.
No fence riding.
Oh, none. Did you give one?
I don't need to. I'm neutral like you because I'm calling the fight.
Okay.
So I get to be you.
I'll give you a prediction in a second.
If I had to put my house on it, I would have to go the favourite, Makhachev. It's my house.
Right.
You got to play the favourite. But yeah,
I'll give you a
buts.
prediction. Here's my prediction. What we're going to see, something we rarely see, if ever, that we've seen before in the history of mixed martial arts and combat sports. The pound for pound number 1 and 2 going against it, head to head in their primes in the octagon. UFC 284. It doesn't get bigger, better, or more significant than this fight. Technical brilliance personified, the striking, the resilience, the get-up ability of the Volkanovski. But then we've got the protege of the great Khabib Nurmagomedov representing Dagestan. Will he impose his will? Will he take him down, keep him down? So many questions. They will be answered tomorrow night, and I cannot wait for it.
Tomorrow morning here, locally, great promo. Khabib's not here. We never even got to speak about that. Not sure if it matters, but he's definitely there in the picture. Thank you. Oh, look.
Yeah, go on, John. You look good.
Yeah,
you suck on a banana. What a surprise.
Double down on a banana.
There's a banana or two.
Another beer there.
Sometimes you got to channel your inner Bisping.
I got the timings wrong. It's 10 Eastern for the ceremonial weigh-ins. You do not want to miss it. We're keeping you up, Mike.
That's hanging back with you.
I was talking about booty on that one.
Love this.
Oh, I'm happy.
The best part of the show was when Thing called you a bitch. That was the best.
Skank.
I didn't know that happened.
A bogan's a skank.
It's been fun, gentlemen. It's been fun. Great to have you on. It's always good to sit in this chair. Thank you for entertainment and your insights. Good luck to you, Rob, in whatever comes next.
Let's keep getting
beer after beer after
it's
beer.
4:30 in the morning. I gotta wake up.
What a man. And let's not forget about today's champion of champions, Johnny G's. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.